Good afternoon, Inmates. How are we all, gentlemen?
I unmuted my mic and it muted itself again. I'm like, what?
You guys are fantastic. Welcome to a special edition, another special edition of the script. It's new, it's shiny, it's different. We have faces. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jay. This is episode 9. This is the E3 special. We're starting off with a damn sub. Down with 7 months on the sub. What a way to start the cast off. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you for that, man.
I waited for that.
I had a feeling. Well, I guess we should start off with this guy down here. Introduce yourself. Tell everyone who you are. They finally get to see that face of yours.
Sorry, I'm trying to watch on the TV and do this at the same time, right? I'm Shadow Chaos. I do stream on Mixer and on here. I have been absent lately, but I am gonna get back to it eventually. I just need to pull the finger out.
Over this way, we will keep judging you every time you don't stream. Over this way, we have the one and only co-host, the pain in my ass, the long-suffering Mist. How you doing, buddy?
I am pretty good. I also stream on Twitch. I haven't really been doing it lately because there's been a lot of shit going on with me, but hopefully soon. And if I get my fucking bot fixed later today, maybe.
Oh, we might be getting a return of the Mist later on today. This would be a damn fine thing indeed. And then, see this guy down here? This beanie wearing, hot sauce chugging, insane man himself. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Sam. He's back. How you doing, baby?
What's up? I'm back.
Good to have you back, man. Tell anyone who doesn't know who you are or anything. Give yourself your quick intro. Let's do the thing.
Oh yeah, I'm just a variety streamer here on Twitch. I've been playing video games for years. I've been on the platform for 4 or 5 years, but I've been consistently streaming for about 2. But yeah, I'm just excited to be here and talk about some
drinking
E3 shit.
hot sauce for about a day.
Nice. Yo, drinking hot sauce for about a day. And can I just say very quickly, congratulations on the 2-year stream anniversary. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, congrats,
Thank
man.
you.
Did a great job, man. Did a great job. He is the leader of my Samspirations, as I like to call it. He's the guy who inspires me to keep on going. So we're not gonna have a love fest for Sam today. We are going to be talking all things E3. In case you can tell by the graphics down there, is have eyes and everything. So we're gonna do it, I guess, in like a chilled and relaxed kind of way. In a way. But we still have sort of like ideas. Like I've got ideas for where we can go, what we can talk about, like different conferences that we want to hit, all that sort of stuff. So, is there anywhere in particular that we want to start? Do we just want to talk about the concept of E3, anything like that? Where we want to, like, any particular conference that we want to hit first, or
Do you just want to like look at the list of the conferences when they are and just hit them one by one?
I'm down for that. I'm down for hitting up anything random whenever it happens. I mean, we could hit straight into E3 if you, EA at E3 if you guys want to. Totally not, because it's the first thing on my graphics list that I can transition to. What do you think?
I'm down for whatever.
I'm trying to speak with my mic muted. We could start off with the fact that Sony currently do not have a press conference this year.
This is true. Sony doesn't, as far as I know. And I thought that Sony did have a conference this year. Does anyone know why they pulled out this year?
They've been out for months now. They said a long time ago they weren't going to have one this year. They just said it's basically not worth it. They'll have their own PlayStation experience. They have things like Tokyo Game Show and Gamescom and all that sort of stuff to go through. And E3 just isn't worth it. It's poorly organized. It's just they don't get anything out of it anymore. So they're out. And
sounds like a convention I've been to recently.
Poorly organized, like the stream.
This is very true. Sorry,
I think the one thing the reason why they pulled out is because, well, the PS5 got leaked a little bit early, which forced them to reveal the information about which would have been their biggest showcase, basically. So because they had already had to announce it, they were just like, right, here we go. Here's a Sony press conference. Here's the PS5. Here's what it does. Here's the components. and then just decided from there, right? Well, we've got nothing else to showcase, so.
Well,
let's
they
just
were
do
out
it.
before that. They were out
Were they?
before all that went down. Yeah, they were out towards the beginning of this year, even. But
See, from-
yeah, that all happened after they already said they weren't doing E3.
There you go. Oh, dang. Host going like crazy today. Sorry, Mr. Hazard, thank you for the host. And Bowie, thank you for the host as well. Appreciate you guys. Sorry, I hate cutting people off during things to do that one. So, with Sony being out and them having their own little conferences, one thing I was actually hearing when just as we were starting up earlier that apparently, you know how Sony have got the PSVR concept and everything that they're still trying to make better and introduce. I know this isn't exactly E3, but it's something that if they were doing it, they probably could have announced. They're wanting to do an in-one VR chair experience thing now, where you're in a chair that's in a system, that's in a rig, that's in a thing that goes in your house. Think like the arcade machines. You know, you're sitting there, it's like a virtual simulator thing. They want to bring that into your home with the PSVR now. I mean, could you imagine that and how much it would cost and the space it would take?
Yeah.
That you would have to like dedicate a whole entire room just to VR if that was the case.
Oh god, yeah.
That
And I mean,
fact, the power cost alone as well.
exactly. Like it's a fully movable, multi-dimensional chair. I think they said, and that it's only rumor at the concept of it at the minute. But people are saying that if that was a real thing, I would hate to think how much they're talking about.
To make at least one, that would have to be like thousands, maybe like $100,000 or something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
So concept cost alone would be, excuse me, insane levels. Like you'd have to be super rich to do that. And I think even with things like you know, like all of the VR content that's out there now, I don't think most people are doing that. Right, so let's go day one E3. If shall we push to that? Forget Sony, they're not here. They can, I don't know.
One thing to add to what you said, Jay, about the whole chair thing.
Yes.
Oculus actually announced something recently
Go on.
Yeah.
about
they did.
the VR console thing all in one, where it's like all in like the headset or something like that.
Oculus Go, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, we can do a bit of research into that one. We can talk on that one soon. Yes. Sir Dan.
One thing that I definitely want to touch on at some point today is the newly formed collaboration of Sony and Xbox.
That we will be definitely getting to. When we get to the Microsoft section, we'll definitely get to that. So
Yeah.
day one running order, what do we have for E3 so far? Like
EA's first.
EA's first,
running
yeah.
first? Okay, so that's to be expected with EA. Like I'm kind of expecting them to push on to being the first people that we see. Because EA is kind of like the one thing I'm expecting from EA more than anything on this one is going to be the new Star Wars game, or at least talking about the concept of the new Star Wars game, like Fallen Jedi. I'm expecting that.
Well, they have a
Jedi
breakdown of everything they're going to talk about.
Yeah, they have. I'm looking at it just now. The Fallen Jedi, the Fallen Order is actually the first thing that they are hitting on as soon as they touch down. As soon as they start.
That would not surprise me. That would definitely not surprise me, because that has been a big talking point, I know, on quite a few streams that we watch. I myself has been talking about it for quite a bit. I want this new game to be good. If it's anywhere near as bad as the way Battlefront 2 started, then I will be massively disappointed in EA. And
well,
really hoping
you
for the best
gotta. I don't think it's going to be as bad as Battlefront 2 because EA isn't like developing it. They're not in it. It's Respawn.
Yeah.
And we already know Respawn kind of, even though they're under EA, they're under their thumb, they're kind of managed to be their own thing outside of EA somehow. They've done their Titanfall games, they've done Apex. According to them, EA had very little input on Apex. So I think they have this kind of relationship with EA where they're just going to be like, you know, EA is cool with them doing what they want because they're doing something successful, and they've managed to be like, EA, stay the fuck away from us.
Yeah.
See, I think EA's sort of become a curse in this respect. So I think getting them out as quick as possible on the day, it's probably better for E3 entirely. Like we said, they'll go, right, let's get through the struggle that is EA. Let's go, right, what are they trying to sell us now? What microtransactions are we going to look forward to? And, you know, how many more loot boxes are we going through? And yada, yada, yada.
You're going to pay $60 for the game, $20 to play online, and then like another $20 per fucking map.
I don't think we're going to have that with this.
Yeah. Looking at their list, they're going to have, first up, it's going to be the Fallen Order. Then after that, they're going to hit into Apex Legends. So they must have something big planned for that.
See, this is a good talking point on this one. Like, Apex, where is
before
it
we
now?
go,
Like,
before we go on to Apex, for Fallen
Yes.
Order, are we going to see gameplay? Because we haven't seen gameplay yet. And will there be wall running in that gameplay?
oh, that's actually well, to be fair, like, it would kind of make sense if there was some kind of I wouldn't say wall running as such, like shall we say
Yeah, they'll
I'm
call
trying
it
to
force
remember
running, and it'll be wall running.
Titanfall. Yeah, there you go, exactly. It'd be like if we have the Titanfall style wall run, which by the way I absolutely adore. Like, I always love that about Titanfall 2, just the ability to kind of like
Titanfall
to the wall
2
as
had
you
like
run.
the best movement out of both of the games.
Mm-hmm. I felt a lot of Titanfall 2 and even Apex, like that felt really good. I want to see more gameplay of this. I actually want to see the full-on gameplay, not just cutscenes, because that feels like it's going to be
definitely.
Like,
and what kind of gameplay do we want? Some sort of first-person RPG gameplay? Do we want it to be an action game? Do we want it to be a third-person adventure? Because do we even know what it is?
All we know right now is that it's a sandbox.
From what I've been reading, and this is obviously all coming from rumor sites and everything like that, they're saying it's going to be third-person, open world, and it's going to be single-player.
Mm-hmm.
What rumors are saying? So I'm
There's
expecting
no
them to go.
multiplayer. That's the thing that I think is confirmed.
Yeah, I'm expecting them to go, okay, no, it's a linear story, you're one guy, there's nothing special about it, it's just every other game with a cut, copy, paste over it. Here you go, enjoy, now pay for it. Because that's what EA tends to do these days.
And then pay for everything else in the fucking game. Pay to breathe in the game, pretty much.
Do you want a different color lightsaber? Well, that's going to cost you $10. Do you want a new force power?
Yeah, but once again, it's
$20.
Respawn. And they're doing their own thing. EA did not have any say in the Apex microtransactions. So
which, by the way,
it was a Respawn game.
Apex
exactly.
microtransactions went better than anything. Like, I was surprised at how good that worked.
So if this is a Respawn game, I don't think there's going to be hardly any microtransactions. If anything, there'll be like a season pass for story DLC or something, but I don't think they're going to nickel and dime it. I don't think it's a game that allows itself to have that in it.
And I guess the good thing in that respect is because it's not going to have multiplayer to it, the microtransactions won't be as much of a problem as if you was playing, say, Battlefront 2 and you could pay to progress your player, and it'll turn out to be a lot worse than it would be normally.
It'll probably just be like pay for like DLC or pay for like box, like say for example like boxes to get like better gear or something like that.
Well, I don't even think they'll do that, because didn't they do that with Shadows of Mordor? And that kind of went sideways real quick. So I think they learned the lesson there.
Since it's single player, I doubt that they'll do a pay to win for it, because there'll be no advantage, there'll be no need in it kind of situation.
It would probably
Granted,
be
if they do see like adding multiplayer into it at some point, they would want to add that.
They might
add down the line or soon.
The only thing I could see them adding potentially would be like a DMC5 type situation where they're like, we have this experience system in the game. You can either play through the game and earn it, and if you're a gamer, you could just play it and win it. But if you're just someone casual who wants to experience this Star Wars story, you can just pay a little bit extra and beef your character up and get through it.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to put the time, energy, and effort into the game like it's designed to have, and actually get that experience properly, or do you just want to go, I'll pay for it, let somebody else do it for me? Which I think is where a lot of games are going these days. Yeah, I think a lot of games are going that way these days. Like, it's going to be the pay to progress if you just can't be bothered to play it yourself. Like, the only payment that I would want in that game more than anything is if they go, okay, look, we're doing the DLC story mode, we're bringing some extra ones, and you know, kind of work from there. Like, we're gonna give you a little bit of DLC. We're gonna pay for things a little bit more than that. Like, nothing more than that though. If it's just DLC and it's just cosmetics and it's just that sort of stuff, I'm happy to go with that.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't
yeah,
doesn't take away from the game. It just kind of goes, well, you have the option. It's like to use an example, I've been playing Conan Exiles lately, and that game you can play no matter what without the DLC, and it literally has no effect on the game. It's just cosmetic stuff. You get different building types.
Basically.
Go along those lines. Give me DLC that I have the option to use and it doesn't change the game in any drastic way, and you have my money. That's pretty much where I would happily go with that.
So sorry to bring this up again, but Warframe. I know everybody gives me shit about it, but Warframe isn't a pay-to-win game. It's more pay-to-win faster. You can get everything in the game for completely free. It'll just take you a while to get it.
Yeah.
But if you pay, say if you put like $25 into the game, some of that stuff that it would take you like a month to get or something, it'll just take you like a week or not even that.
Yeah.
That one doesn't change the game up too much. I want to quickly say I only have like a couple of I only have a couple of what's it called? I only have a couple of these little logos down here, so forgive me if there's nothing on there. Sorry, needed to go on that tangent. If like, oh, you're so professional, but to the point where you talk about Bethesda and there's no Bethesda logo. I'm sorry.
It's the fact that it was said that, oh, by the way, the EA logo is covering chat a bit, and Wolf would turn around and goes, it's the EA logo, it's $1.99 just to move this logo.
$1.99 and we'll move it back. Thank you so very much. Anyways, so next up on the list, because the Star Wars game's going to be good enough that you can't really do too much, you can't really talk too much on it, except I was surprised to find out that the guy who played Charlie from Lost is the voice of the main character. Did not know that.
Yeah.
Had no idea that that was the case until me and Pig sat there and was talking about it. And I finally caved and watched the trailer on stream, and that was a really nice trailer, won't lie.
For not being much gameplay, it's still a good trailer.
Exactly. So, Apex.
Right, Apex, from what I've been reading, all it is basically just another splurge about the game, rumor of a couple of new modes, and also cross-platform.
See, the cross-platform I was expecting. I gotta ask, before we go too far into it, is this too little too late for Apex, though, for you guys? Because has the game died off enough for you to not bother with it anymore? Like, will this bring you back if they announce something good?
Depends on what happens. Like, it depends on... I think they need to have a more exciting Season 2 to bring me back. They would have to have... I think they would have to rework the rewards you get from the Season Pass some way.
Yes, definitely.
Rework the cosmetics. Rework how much heroes or champions cost. That's just... That's definitely it's almost too much. Like, I still never unlocked Octane. Like, I still haven't played as Octane.
Neither have I.
And I never had a need for him in the end. I got to the point where I just was like, but why? They've put it up. They put the cost of him up so high that why would you want to pay for the guy by grinding when you could just pay for him with real money?
They need to scale all that down a little bit.
I think I have audio problems.
No, that was just
There we go. Okay, yeah. No, sorry about that. We just had like a big old mute issue just then. My apologies. Sam, did you have mute problems again? Is your app going wrong? Because it seems like it's that. Yeah. His voice meter is going, no. If his voice meter is going wrong, then that would make sense. Okay, so welcome back. Technical issues. What can you do? We're live. We can't edit that out. It's amazing.
Yep.
I would honestly say, and this is Pig's literally just mentioned
let's restart the stream.
Yep, we're gonna restart entirely. No.
Fuck that.
Honestly, I think Apex is kind of doing. It feels like too little, too late. We was talking about this a long time back, Sam, when me and you were playing this. off stream a couple of times, and when we was playing it solidly, I think, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, they should have gone the Fortnite approach. They should have mixed the map up with multiple seasons, changed the map as you play, same as Realm Royale's been doing. Like,
Well, there was a rumor about that. They put out a trailer that was supposed to be that.
I quit. Gee, went the Fortnite route.
Going the Fortnite route, like, I agree with that to an extent, and I don't think they should have done it as fast as they did, because that breeds the potential for mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes,
they did put out a trailer that highlighted some map changes, and then never what happened to that.
I was saying,
and that was
really
like 2 weeks after launch.
The only things I ever saw that changed in the map were when they started putting jump pads in and around certain areas. So like when you went to the marketplace and there was a jump pad somewhere, and that was about it. Like there was nothing big.
What was initially exciting about it too is when it first came out, they stated they have a system in place in Apex where they can update the game, change the map, and change things that happen in the game without taking the servers down. They can do it while it's live.
And what happened?
So they could pretty much pull a Fortnite where like the events happen live.
Literally, yeah. And for the Octane teas, what they did is people were in the middle of playing, no update was downloaded or anything, and the next time they loaded in the map, there were jump pads.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, I actually went
why
into
not
that.
do that?
Right? Like, it kind of makes sense that you want to, especially a game like that. Look at COD. That Blackout died so quickly because they made no changes to it. And I'm hoping that's what they're doing with Apex. Like, I'm hoping they're going to bring in something new to change it up. Otherwise, that game's going to be just sitting there as another free-to-play that no one plays.
Like, something that I want for Apex is, like, if you look at somebody who's, like, in the middle of a match of Apex, it's saying that they're on Kings Canyon. Like, a game like that says something like that, you expect, like, different maps if it's going to say something like that. So, like with an announcement, I expect, like, something different with the map, something, like Jay said, Fortnite route, or just an entirely new map altogether.
Agreed.
Yeah.
3 or 4 maps would be good, but then you look at the PUBG aspect of there's so many maps and you only tend to get like the same 1 or 2 in rotation.
Yeah, basically.
No, it's more like you could pick which one you want to play, just don't add like Call of Duty where it's like 20 different fucking maps for multiplayer. It takes like forever to get the one that you actually wanted to play. Just make it like 2 or 3 maps. Like just make it for season 2. Just make it like add like a new map or change something about the map, and then like season 3, like change something about like both of the maps if they add a new map.
Yeah, just like
something like that.
Tweak.
Well, they can go the Ring of Elysium approach and just do a different map every season. And just have a story behind it. Like it doesn't have like just have your seasons last a month and a half or 2 months, and then every 2 months you change the map.
I miss watching you. I won't lie. I miss watching you play Ring because that was actually a really good game, and it's a shame it died.
I miss Ring too.
It's a shame that Apex killed that game. Like, it's just hopefully
it was on an upward trajectory.
Hopefully they can do something to bring that game back. So we was talking about more multiplayers. Battlefield's got another announcement. I'm guessing it's probably going to be Battlefield
again.
It's probably going to be Battlefield 6, or it's going to be updates to Battlefield 5, or they're going to have another side Battlefield coming like they normally do.
Again, it's Battlefield 5. I'm looking at the list right now. It's Battlefield 5, and rumor has it it's some new modes again, but then also cross-platform, which, again, is a topic that we're going to touch on later on, which will explain why EA's turned around and decided, right, we'll do a conference on Apex and Battlefield 5 kind of thing.
I think that's one where we're gonna, like if it's the whole crossplay thing, it's definitely gonna be a big thing for everyone. Do we really have much?
Definitely.
Do we have much love for Battlefield in this one to really stick around on it for too long?
I've not really touched the game. I gave up with Battlefield a while back. Last one I played was Battlefield 1.
Yeah, that was the
I
last good
played
one, I think.
Battlefield 5, but not enough to really say anything on it. Just enough for like my personal opinion on the game, and my personal opinion is that they tried a little too hard for it. Like they, it should have gone more like Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1. People loved Battlefield 4 the way that Battlefield 4 was played.
Battlefield
Like
4
people
still gets
loved,
played to this day. It's that
yeah.
popular.
I still play it. It was
Hmm.
one of my favorite Battlefields. Like they had Battlefield 3. People loved it, but hated some things about it. They fixed all of that. Whatever, like what everybody hated. Battlefield 4 came out. Everybody loved that game.
Oh yeah.
Then they went back to Battlefield 1, and then immediately everybody started like hating on some of the stuff. And then Battlefield 5 just made it even worse. Like if they don't step it up with Battlefield 5 and these updates that they're coming out with, the Battlefield series might just die off.
I think it was in the point at that time when 1 and 5 came out that it was all, hey, everyone's all World War because like COD was doing World War and we're going back to our roots. It's going to be the early wars, the Great War, and Bad Company would be a great remaster at some point.
No, I agree with Pig. Sorry, they need to bring back Bad Company.
Bad Company would be good if they remastered and brought it through, especially with. We'll touch on COD's announcement in a little bit because I think that's in the listings here somewhere.
Battlefield Bad Company 2. Like they need to bring something back like that, especially since if you can't find a door, you make your own door.
There you go.
Exactly.
That quote. You need to play Battlefield Bad Company 2.
The one thing that I liked more than anything about all things Battlefield is the Levolution. Like, Levolution is the greatest thing in a Battlefield game. Being able to destroy an entire building. And I'm hoping they do something like that with this new update again, because the Levolution in that game is amazing, but it's still not as good for Battlefield 5.
That's another thing. Like, Battlefield 3 had some of that. Then Battlefield 4 had, like, a shit ton of it, where it quite literally changed how you played the map.
Exactly.
And then, like, for example, Shanghai in Battlefield 4, the mid tower came down, and that changed immediately. Like, when that tower came down, that changed immediately how you played that center area.
Exactly. So,
and then they took some of that away in Battlefield 1 and just added, like, the sandstorm stuff and some of the maps.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. The fact, I mean, they had a couple of buildings that broke down, and you get a couple of, you know, holes in the dunes and stuff like that, but that's about it. It's nothing like massive. No. Speaking of nothing massive, I think we could probably breeze over the next 3 in a list here. There's going to be an announcement on FIFA 20. It's a football game. It really doesn't change that much from year to year. They're probably going to be changing. Sorry, soccer for you bad-speaking Englishmen.
Next one's football.
Well, no, this one's football because it's the one where you actually kick a ball with your feet. Hence the name football. The other one's just glorified
rugby. The next one's American football. How about that?
Exactly.
I want to know what they're planning on for Sims 4, though.
I'm guessing, well, that's the thing. FIFA's probably just going to be, hey, look, new graphics engine, new team updates, obviously, as is always the case.
Cross-platform.
Probably more than likely cross-platform, exactly. Like, I'm expecting that to start being the case of almost everything here. And, hey, look, we've changed Ultimate Team again, and it's slightly different. Probably the same with Madden. I like Madden. Madden's kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, it can be.
Can't get all the time. I will wait for that to go on the Games with Gold or Games Pass, which we will get onto in a little bit, because Sam, you sort of mentioned that last night as well, in a way. And then Sims 4. I'm guessing that's probably just going to be another butt ton of DLC and expansions, as they tend to do with The Sims. That's like the most popular game in their franchise.
Didn't they just give it away for free too? Like, what? Why would they give it away for free?
Sims 4 is currently in the Games Pass, and it's also in the EA Vault.
Yeah, they did it as I think it was a free weekend. Like, if you could get it for a weekend for free.
Yeah,
so
but it's also in the Games Pass and the Vault right now. You can get in either one of those. So if you don't have the Vault, you can get in a Games Pass. If you don't have Game Pass, you can get in the Vault. So regardless, it's free to play.
I'm curious what it's going to be. Maybe they're going to say, hey, from this point on, anything Sims 4 related is going to be free. We're going to stop supporting it soon, and we're going to bring out a Sims 5, maybe?
Audio-wise.
Hopefully they fix the whole meteor thing with the schools as well, even though how funny it was in the patch notes.
I've honestly never played The Sims long enough to know anything about it. I've literally
Oh
just
no,
gone.
I haven't played Sims 4 at all. Just there was this meme video about the patch notes where um meteors could like come down and hit stuff, and if it were to go down and hit a school, all the adults could run out, but all the children had to stay in the school and get hit by the meteor.
Yeah, there is that, I guess. That's just insane. There you go. Yeah, so as Pig said, there's more than likely, before we move off of EA, they'll probably be mentioning the fact that EA Access is finally, after a couple of years, coming to PS4. So Zam, if you're on your PS4 at any point and there's something that you don't own, give EA some money and you can do it on a monthly basis.
Never.
Rumor has it that it's going to be in August that it gets released.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, and it will probably coincide with whatever new console announcement they're going to be talking about, because you can guarantee that when EA does their little summit, it's going to be PS5. When Sony does the summit, they'll go PS5. You'll get day one, you'll get EA Access, and possibly a new GTA, because before we, since how Sony's not got a thing, I want to quickly mention this before we go on to Nintendo, because this is the only thing that we actually have a list of what's happening at any point.
Yes, we do. You were sending it in the Discord. You probably just didn't see the notification.
No, I've got the list. I'm literally staring right at it from GameSpot.
Okay. So am I.
The fact that there's rumors, so we're going to quickly talk about this one super quick. I know it's not Nintendo, I know it's not EA, I know it's not any of those big companies, but there is rumors that GTA 6 is going to happen, and it's going to be for next-gen consoles. So it would be the PlayStation 5, the Xbox 9000.
What I'd think would be, it's going to be similar to 5. 5 came out at the end of the last console generation. You drop that on, and they're doing the same thing with Red Dead 2. I guarantee we see a Red Dead 2 definitive edition for the next gen consoles that's slightly remastered and looks slightly better. They'll do the same thing for GTA 6. They'll drop a lesser version on current gen consoles, Xbox Ones, PS4s, and then release also on PS5 and Xbox 2.
See, I want
to fuck they decide to call it.
I want to talk about that when we get to Microsoft, because that's just going to be an interesting one. Like, what the hell are they going to call that thing?
Well, before we get into much other stuff that isn't EA, much like Bethesda and Fallout 76, do we hear anything from BioWare at the EA conference about Anthem? Do we hear anything about a new Dragon Age? Do we hear anything about a new Mass Effect? Because I don't give a shit about any of those games, but I'm curious what you guys think.
Well, rumor has it that Anthem is supposedly getting announced for Games Pass.
But are they? That's not something about Anthem. That's something about Games Pass. Are they going to talk about Anthem at all? Are they going to address what happened to it?
There's so much that they can do with Anthem right here. If they say
it died on launch, that's what happens.
What I want to see is right, I want them to, like, because I attempted to play the beta when it was on Xbox. I want them to walk out on stage with the big Anthem logo, go, okay, we fucked up. It was gonna be good. We said it was gonna be amazing. It was mediocre at best. And this is what we're gonna do to try to do something about it. What have I told you about playing that during the stream, like during the podcast? You're not even a member of the Champions Club. You're not even dedicated to the Champions Club. Someone kicked that guy. Anyway, see, this is the thing. I want to quickly talk about Doc in a minute, because he's been seen in NDA territory outside Xbox headquarters, so could be interesting. But yeah, I think Anthem is going to be to the point where they're going to sit there and be like, okay, look, we fucked up. We're either going to try and support the game as much as possible and try it and bring it into where it was and give it some kind of life and get it working, or let's just say, okay, that's it, we failed, we're going to work on it, we're going to bring out maybe Anthem 2 at some point and make it a hell of a lot better, or we're just going to support it as like what it is currently. We'll just keep some kind of support, but don't expect us to do a lot for it. They'll keep it sort of like at a stalemate.
Or something like just take the game down entirely right now, rework everything, make everything better, and then whenever it's like a better version of the game, re-release it.
I don't think they take it down. I think if anything, they do a Final Fantasy 14 situation where they just be like, and this is we know the game wasn't good. This is the redone version of it. And just call it Anthem relaunched. There you go. It's fine.
There you go. That's a decent name for it because it kind of makes sense because you launched the suits. Why don't they maybe just what do you think if they was to maybe turn it into, say, an MMORPG, like complete free to play MMORPG?
Turn it into a good game. What?
That was supposed to be what it was supposed to be anyway.
Could you imagine if they did that though? Like they go, okay, look, so we know that it doesn't work. Why don't we just turn it into something like a Star Trek Online, maybe? Like turn it into a free-to-play MMO and support it as much as possible that way. What do you think?
What it was is that they copied Bungie with Destiny far too much and then didn't realize afterwards, Bungie kind of failed with that.
I mean,
well, then you have if you make it free to play, all of a sudden, then what do you give to the people? You have to make sure you're giving the people that paid $60 for this game, or $100, or $400, or $1,000, or
yep.
Whatever how many editions there were. What do you give these people to make them feel like they got their money's worth now that the game's free to play? So you have to deal with that whole aspect of it too. So I doubt that they would make it free to play. If anything, I would say it would be a combination of reworking it and relaunching the game like Final Fantasy 14 did, dropping the price to $30, and reducing probably some of the microtransaction stuff in it.
Question is, would it make you go and play it? If they did that, would you play it?
No, I don't give EA money.
There you go.
Next to never will I give EA money. The next thing that's on my radar from EA is Fallen Order. That might be the only thing that I would consider giving them money for, and that's from Respawn more than EA at that point as well.
Sam, you really don't like EA, do you?
I fucking hate EA.
Sam went off on a stream one day about EA when someone was talking about it, and I can't remember who or why, but it was
probably Sandwich, because he always pokes the fucking bear.
There you go. I think it was actually. That was amazing to listen to. It was absolutely amazing.
But yeah, what I was going to say is, as for the Rocksteady information that we were looking for,
Rocksteady?
There's no such thing being said for GTA yet.
Rockstar. I was wondering
Rockstar,
what about Rocksteady. Then that's a completely different...
Rockstar used to be Rocksteady, if you remember correctly.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
Rocksteady are the guys who made the Batman games. Zam, am I going crazy here? Am I right on this? That Rocksteady and Rockstar definitely were not the same people?
They're the same company.
No, they're not.
Thank you.
No,
thank you.
I do apologize.
Why don't we get you on here? I mean, damn. No, Rocksteady and Rockstar are completely different studios.
If Dan ever says anything during the stream, do take it with a grain of salt, because this man is under the influence.
Oh, shut up.
This is true.
No, anyway, Rocksteady are the ones that are doing the Harry Potter console game.
That I do want to talk to, and I do want to talk about that one a little bit. Because me and Elite were talking about that, and I want to get him on maybe next episode and talk about that. Well, no, it'll be episode 11, because episode 10 is the paranormal, so that'd be an interesting one to do at some point. So if anyone's interested in talking paranormal and that, let us know. We're going to be looking for some guests for that. I mean, you know, we might start going for some new people. We never know. But yeah,
so have to be there.
Well, yeah, you do. So from the sounds of it, EA is definitely going to be dropping some decent stuff if you're into EA. But if you're not, we're going to be moving. All right. Speaking of moving on, we need to move on to a few other bits, because we've spent a whole 40 minutes almost on these guys. So, Nintendo. Everyone loves Nintendo.
I was going to say next in the list for the press conference is Microsoft, is it not?
Nintendo.
No, Nintendo's just that's just their tournaments and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, on Saturday.
If you
want to talk about esports,
I mean, we can touch it super quick. They're going to be holding their esports tournaments. Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate World Championships, 3v3 tournaments, and the Splatoon 2 World Championships are going to all be out there. You can no doubt catch them.
Oh no, Sam has something to say.
Oh.
And I was just going, woo!
Oh.
I mean, esports is
Nintendo
okay,
tournaments.
but it depends. Yeah, the Avengers one I want to talk. There's so many things to talk about this thing, like for
Yeah.
E3. So that's Nintendo done basically. They're not really doing a hell of a lot in.
They do have a press conference towards the end, but I doubt there's going to be anything. They'll be like, "Oh, here's our new console and here's our new games."
Can we, while we're on Nintendo real quick, what do you guys think of them as a console developer these days? Like, is it about time that Nintendo just said we're done with consoles and we're just concentrating on games again?
No.
Because
No,
where do you sit with things like, say, the Switch, the you know, like
I give
I
them
think
like one more good console.
they've always been about. I've found with Nintendo, they've always been about a niche console. It's always been, we have to do something different. Like we're the people that we're like the crazy wizard that lives in a tower that makes something out of nothing. That's this and there's that.
Make something out of hot sauce, right, Zam?
But that's the company that we need to stay in the game.
yeah.
Otherwise, everything gets stagnant.
So
I mean,
you-
there's Switch.
Sony and Microsoft aren't doing jack shit to innovate beyond power, where
Yeah.
Nintendo does everything to innovate well beyond just the power of the console.
see, saying
They
that,
want interaction.
from a couple of
they-
E3s ago, whatever happened to the Microsoft Smart Glass, the glasses thing, the AR reality glasses that they were doing? Don't know where that's
a lot
gone.
of that stuff that they put out is more of like consumer electronics show stuff. Like, this is the future of technology. But that was like one of the worst Microsoft conferences ever.
Oh god,
Because that's what they focused on. They focused on this new tech. They thought they approached E3 as a consumer electronics show rather than a game developers kind of place or a place to show
Yeah.
off what you have in store for the year. So yes, that's Microsoft and Sony do plenty of technological innovations. I'm not saying that they
Yeah.
don't. I'm saying as gaming companies, their gaming divisions do not. They play off of each other. They increase the power of the consoles. They fight back and forth. Where Nintendo is off in its own little wizard tower, like, I wonder what motion controls would be like. And they work on that stuff for years before it drops. So they
And they do a very good
actually
job with
have
it.
working.
yeah.
And then
no, I-
Microsoft and Sony look
Yeah.
at them and then they're like, we want to do that too. And then they do it crappily.
Well, look at Sony
And
and
then
the
it sucks.
PSVR. I mean, the PSVR, speaking from experience using
But that
this
was
now,
them looking at Oculus and Vive and saying, we want to do it too.
to be honest with
it's
you, I'm kind of a fan
Yeah.
of the PSVR in certain respects. It is very restrictive in certain ways. Like, there are a lot of games that you can't play because Sony's like, oh, hey, you know what? We're just going to go, here's a couple of games that did decent on Steam, but that's all you're getting. Like, you know, you're going to get Arizona Sunrise, you're going to get the Rick and Morty game, you're going to get something else. You're not going to get all these indie dev ones because we don't, you know, typical Sony thing is like the same reason why you don't get good mods on Skyrim, or the same reason why you won't get good mods on Fallout, this and this. It's, we want to keep X thing safe, and why they weren't also doing crossplay up until recently, supposedly, because they want to keep their people safe.
Nintendo made a giant leap when it came to their Switch, when it came to graphic wise and game wise. You can't deny that one.
No,
Look at
no,
the fact that Diablo 3 was released for it, and it looks almost looks a bit better than what it does on the Xbox itself.
yeah, I mean, I do like what they're doing with the Switch, porting certain games over and pushing the content through.
Nintendo's never going to die anyway because of the fact that they've got the people who are Zelda fans, diehard fans, supplying them cash basically. They've got, there you go, Mist himself. You've got the people who are diehard Pokemon fans who have loved the Pokemon games since the original Game Boy.
Alright, I gotta
Still
say,
buying it.
sorry to cut you off on this one. I gotta say, while you're on Pokemon, is it safe to say that Nintendo's now officially no longer the Mario company and they are just a Pokemon company as far as games go?
They are just a Pokemon company now.
Are they now officially Nintendo, Pokemon. That's how it feels.
No,
Because Mario's not got much love
the
anymore.
Pokemon Company is the Pokemon Company.
Well, I mean, there is
Company's a
that.
Pokemon company.
There is that. I mean, have you ever seen a Pokemon game on Xbox though, or on PlayStation,
No.
or anywhere else?
Have you seen a Mario game on Xbox or PlayStation?
There was rumors. There was rumors though. That's the thing. Like from what I read, there was rumors that was going on to
There were
Yeah, push
rumors
them
I
that
hate
the
the fact
Microsoft
that Zam is
Game
always right
Pass-
about things.
There was a
What?
rumor that the Microsoft Game Pass was going to come to the Switch. That was the big rumor, and
That
then
is
that
apparently
came out to
definitely
be
gonna
false.
happen.
No.
Apparently they're talking
No.
about it again because since we're on Game Pass now, they are apparently officially pushing Game Pass to PC now. So if you have the
Yeah.
Xbox
Yeah.
Game Pass, you can now push that there. So maybe they're using that as like
But they're also, this is all, I see this more as a Microsoft thing than a Nintendo thing, because Microsoft
Yeah.
is approaching Sony, they're approaching Nintendo, they're approaching Valve, and they're approaching all of these companies, and they say, this is Microsoft getting out of the console market. If you guys do not see the writing on the wall, this is Microsoft getting out of the
Oh
console
yeah,
game.
definitely.
that's
They're going to have
actually,
a small streaming box to satisfy all you Xbox people, and it's just going to stream games to it. It may have a fat, like, they're going to have two models. They're going to have this fat boy that's going to have the disc drive in it and everything. They're going to have a slim, affordable stream console where you stream all your Game Pass games to. They're going to try and get Game Pass on the Switch. I don't know if that would happen. I think that's the hardest one. They're already having Game Pass on PC. They're already putting their Microsoft games onto Steam, and they're going to try and get their Xbox games on PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I was about to say there is actually talks of a streaming service between the PlayStation and Xbox itself, which means exclusive games they have been on, say, the PlayStation and Xbox in the past are going to be on this streaming service. So, like, say Dead Space for one. Dead Space will be on this new console. It'll be attainable to both people due to the fact that it is on both consoles.
yeah, no, that makes sense. Right, before we push off of Nintendo and onto Microsoft proper, I want to quickly go to the chat here. Gabriel made some pretty damn good points here. So Nintendo's in a position to take risks, to make that weird new gaming console that no one else is doing. The first Wii console, motion controls, they went full in and took a chance, which, to be honest with you, I loved my Switch when I had it. Like, that was amazing. I needed
Oh yeah, it paid off.
I needed much longer cables because I have long fucking arms, but I loved it. Like, when I was having to play the one with the nunchuck and the motion control, and it's like, you need to have full arm's length movement, and I'm like, I can't. I'm a Velociraptor and a T-Rex trying to play games. It doesn't work.
There was something I wanted to add on to what Zam said earlier, actually, about
Sorry, it's just that they went full forced. They went in and forced the gaming industry to take a look at the gaming industry differently. They might be stupidly tight-fisted with their intellectual property, but they force change in the gaming industry, and I have to say,
Definitely.
that they are some damn good points. Gabriel, thank you for that. That makes me sound a little bit more intelligent reading out what you said. Appreciate it.
Jay,
Sam,
more
where were we?
intelligent? Since when?
Since
way to go,
before you were
Gabe. You
here.
boosted his ego.
Anyways.
What I wanted to add on to what you said, Zam, the whole like Sony and Microsoft doing like the power consoles. Sony designed the PS3 to be, I think it was like perform like a computer or something like that. It was like to the standards at that time, and then the PS4, they had said that they want to make it like a supercomputer that can take over the world. It was something like that. I don't remember
they always go back and forth like that. The PS3, the problem with the PS3 was it was difficult to code for the way the architecture of the processor was in there, and the architecture that the whole system was built on. So with PS4, they made it more powerful, but they also changed the architecture to make it easier. That's why in this last generation, we saw all the developers going back to PlayStation because it was easier to develop for, and it's a more powerful console. So they're just like, we're going to go back to where the power is. We're going to go back to where it's easier to develop for. And I think Sony as a company may potentially be easier to deal with, especially for Japanese companies, the From Softwares and things like that.
God, could
They
you imagine
wanna
what From
keep
Software could do
everything
with
there.
the newest console? Like when they get a PlayStation 5 style console, we've seen Dark
Everybody
Souls and
has
Bloodborne just.
Everybody has PS5 dev kits. Like they're working on PS5 games. They're working on the next Xbox games. They're already out there. That's how close we are to this next generation.
Something that I want to see is like going back to like PS2 days, where instead of having like all the AAA like titles, you can go and instead of having like barely any like AA titles or anything like that, like in
Give us
PS2,
back
you
our
could
7.5s.
yeah, you
Give
could
us
go
back our
back
6.5 to 7.5s out of 10 and still make them okay games.
yeah. Like
I'm not gonna lie. The one thing sorry, you finish off, Mist.
I want to be able to, instead of play a game that like, oh, everybody knows about, I want to play a game like that's still good but like barely anybody knows about, and I could like show people that game, like, oh, let's go play this game, like,
You
oh,
kind
what's
of
this
want to do
game
what
about,
you
like,
can do with Steam. Like the fact that you can delve through Steam's library and there's a game no one's ever heard of that's absolutely insanely amazing, and you can bring somebody onto that.
exactly.
Like a good little indie title that no one's ever heard of, and then bam, there it is. It takes over. Speaking of taking over, I guess we should move on to the company that I want to say a lot of everyone, like not everyone's looking forward to. I know I'm looking forward to, because yes, I'm a Microsoft mark. I won't lie. I will sit there and enjoy what they put out there because I'm a console man. I'm console scum.
Wait. Don't get too excited about Microsoft here, man. Does anybody have any final thoughts on Nintendo?
Yeah, let's go to Nintendo real quick before we push on.
Dan had one thing.
Go on.
Yeah, no, it was to touch on what you were talking about, Mist, about the older titles which people have probably forgotten about. Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, right? There's one title that was on the original PlayStation that I would love to see come back to every console, the newer generation, and that's the original Digimon World game.
That's a very niche market, though. It's a
Yeah, but
very niche market.
Yeah,
it was a
give
brilliant game back in the day.
Give it a tiny budget, sell it for $20, be fine.
Yeah, I mean, look at how most of those low budget games go.
But that's what I think Mist is talking about. He wants to go back to that. Like, let's get some more budget, low budget games out here.
Because
well,
like go ahead, Dan.
It's like what happened with Resident Evil 2. They were never ever going to remake it. Then this, out of nowhere, these group of people started a Kickstart fund, got enough support and enough backing to start doing the game, and that's when Capcom decided, right, you know what, fuck it, you have made too much money off of this, and we're wanting some of this cut, so we're taking it back off you. We'll give you X amount to take this game from you and do it ourselves. And now look at it. There's been so much support. Capcom have now even turned around and said, you know what? We're bringing back Nemesis as well.
See, that's something I wanted to definitely push to, like, when we had the idea of Sony doing this, but apparently not. I like, yeah, as Pig said, I like the old Xbox arcade games, basically the indie devs that had their own stuff on the 360. It's the equivalent of the Steam library, finding the indie devs down there that you can either get for free or you can get, paid for. The linear RPGs, though, those would be the downside and a plus side, because you'll get a really good version and a really bad version. You never know what you're getting, but there's the choice. I think, especially with, like, we're pushing the generations and we're pushing the content, we're pushing everything, but it's still feeling so stale. I mean, Sam, we were talking about this a couple of days back, weren't we, on, so I think it was just in your chat in general, like, gaming's becoming very much stagnant in the respect that every game is the same. Like, it's very hard to find a new game that is different, and that's what I'm hoping we might get from E3. Like, I'm really hoping that we're gonna get something that pushes the boundaries a little bit more, and
that's kind of what I was gonna, because I know the question's probably gonna come up, like, what are you most excited about at E3? And I'm most excited about the thing that I don't know is coming at E3. Like, I want to have something smack me in the face and it's just like, oh shit, I need that tomorrow.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Gabriel, thank you for that follow, by the way, my dude. Appreciate you.
That was me with Borderlands 3. Like
Yeah.
when like the trailer dropped and everything and the gameplay dropped, I was like, okay, yeah, I need that like now. Like
If Pig was here,
I
we know
don't
that
see
that'd
on the
be his
list
talking
anywhere
point.
because I didn't really scroll down, but I want to see something with something about Borderlands.
It would be interesting. It would definitely be a good thing for them to push through. Speaking of pushing through, we got a lot to go through. We're only on the first one of day one. Microsoft, we've got to talk about them. I know I'm a Microsoft fanboy in the respect that I love my consoles. Like I said, I want to sit there. I want to see what this new console is going to be because I can guarantee you there's going to be some form of announcement with the new console. It says that Microsoft is expected to announce its new console, share more details about Halo Infinite during its press conference. But nothing's specifically been confirmed. I'm thinking Phil Spencer's literally going to sit there and go, right, new Halo is going to be a launch title for the Xbox 9000. It's probably going to look like another box. Like you were saying before, Zan, there's probably going to be like multiple versions in the way that they did the 1, the 1X, the 1S, the new 1S digital. That's the writing on the wall that you were saying. It is very much getting to the point where it's feeling like Microsoft's either going to go to the respect of digital only consoles, which I'm both a fan of and not a fan of because I like physical consoles. I like physical copies of my games, and it always makes very nice collector's edition. Because, like, say for example, oh, I don't know, Resident Evil 3 is going to come out, and they're going to do a $100 collector's edition where you get, you know, like a 7-inch Nemesis and collector's cards and an RP Raccoon City badge. All that kind of stuff, you know, you get all of that, but you don't get your steel case anymore, you know, like that little steel box tin and the collector's cards that go in it and your disc.
Well,
It's just,
I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna go digital only, and you're just gonna get a code in there. I think they'll probably have the code in the steelbook because like they know people like that stuff. They like that, you know, that people enjoy collecting that stuff. Plus, it's probably huge revenue for them. So you don't, I don't think the collector's edition and physical copies of games like sell. They're basically going to get to the point where they're just selling the box, and you're just going to have a digital code in there. I think we'll get away from physical media as far as discs go, in a way. But then there's like the whole people abroad market. There's people like military and things like that where people are somewhere where they don't have an internet connection and can't connect. So I think there's always going to be a workaround for it. But for me, if I were, I enjoy physical games. I enjoy buying the physical copies, especially when it does come to console. But if I were to collect physical games, I don't have room for 500, almost 600 boxes for games in my room because that's how many games I have on my Steam library. I don't have room for 600 games, so I'm fine with them going digital.
But can we? Sorry.
No, you can go because I'm gonna switch and get back to Microsoft if you want to.
Can we just touch on the fact that the reason why Microsoft are even thinking about just going digital is because of the fact they completely screwed up with the Gen 1 Xbox Ones, and the disk drives died far too quickly, and that's what forced their market to switch to digital, which is now even thinking about them just doing digital in general.
Thing is, though,
I think the kind of touching is kind of related to that in a way. I don't know. It was a year or two ago where I don't know if it was Phil Spencer or somebody else from Microsoft had said there was a rumor going around that internally at Microsoft Gaming, their philosophy was changing from putting out these consoles all the time where they wanted to take advantage of the cell phone model where they would put out a new console every year.
Oh, God.
And it would be a slightly upgraded console every year, and they would make way more profit doing that than doing one every 5-6 years.
Yeah.
So you would just iterate your console every year.
I also remember there being the rumor that the Xbox One, when it first came out, was going to be along the lines of a PC style thing. Well, yeah, they were dubbing it as the last console you'll ever need because you'll be able to remove parts and upgrade it like it's a PC. And then next thing you know, that never happened. So now there's that's very same rumor going over on this new console that they're expecting to announce. We're gonna get a whole new Xbox One or Xbox 9 or Xbox 3 million, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Xbox 420.
If Xbox 420, and then they're going to do the same thing where they're going to go, oh, hey, we might be able to do it now so that you can take out the hard drive and put a new one in. You can expand the memory, you can expand this, expand that, and basically change it up all the time. And you're sitting there going, you've said this before, I don't think I can trust it. Just please make sure that I have my games. Do you think, though, going the way that we've said that Nintendo's sort of been an innovator in some respects, what if they decide to move the style of games, instead of it being like a disc media, you say SD card media? Just a smaller medium to put the games on. So they're still releasing physical copies, but it's no longer a disc format. It's, say, an SD card or a flash card or a stick, you know, like a memory stick, something like that.
Basically, like Nintendo's Switch style for their games.
Using the Switch idea of it's on a different format, it's a different medium, and then you just literally pop that into your console and bam, you've got your game playing. Do you think that would work? Or
no.
Something that I saw Microsoft do, like, towards the end of the Xbox One life, is at the GameStop that I go to, there was still like physical copies of games, but there was more like cards for the games. There was more like you buy the card, it's a digital copy, you just go and put the code in.
That's the sort of thing I'm worried about, in the respect that well, all of my local game stores are shutting down because no one's going in and buying physical media anymore. Like, they're doing the best they can to bring out all these pre-owned deals, you know. Buy
a lot
six
of
games
I
for
think
$10. You can't do that anymore.
I think
it goes digital.
A lot of it has to do with well, first of all, Sony owns Blu-ray disc, so Nintendo could have been on Blu-ray with the Wii and the Wii U, but they didn't want to pay Sony for the rights to use Blu-ray discs, so that's why they stuck with what they did.
HD
and that's
DVD,
why they're
buddy.
constantly that's why they're always going to stay away from disc-based formats now. As far as Sony goes, they're always going to use their own proprietary disc because they own that. They don't have to pay anyone to use that. Microsoft's wild card, but we've already talked about them going digital. So I don't think much is going to change with how the games are going to be stored between these companies. Nintendo's going to keep going with their SD cards kind of situation. Sony's going to keep going with their disc situation, and I think Microsoft is really pushing digital.
I get that feeling. I think the One S digital is definitely their toe in the water to see how that would sell and to see how everyone would want that to go. Like, I very much get that feeling. So that's pretty much the Microsoft announcement. They're pretty much guessing that it's going to be a go big, mostly focused on the new console. A couple of games that they're probably going to drop with it. You know, hey, look, we're still doing this. We've bought up this dev company and that dev company like we did last E3. This is how these companies are doing now. We've got a couple of exclusives. That's what I'm excited to see, is them to say, remember all those companies last E3 that we were talking about buying? This is what they're working on now. This company's got this company's got this company's got this, and we also have these companies coming on board too. I'm kind of interested to see if maybe during one of the announcements we get a particular man out on the stage dressed in that the black on slate or whatever the hell he likes to do, you know, the guy who will drive his Lamborghini onto the stage with his sunglasses on and the headset around, because it's been seen through Duck's Twitter that he was at the Microsoft headquarters recently, last couple of days, and he's in, to paraphrase, he is in deep NDA territory right now. So I'm curious whether that's maybe something to do with the dev of the new console, because he's got experience in game dev. As we all know, he used to work on he used to work on the Call of Duty franchise. He was very big on, what was it, Advanced Warfare, I believe, which was
Advanced Warfare. He done a lot of work on Black Ops 4 as well.
There you go. And the fact that he's been there is making me wonder whether it may have absolutely nothing to do with E3, and it could just be coincidental that it's around this time, or maybe he's just there giving them some insight into this, or this. You never know. But it'd be interesting to see. Interesting to see if maybe we get an appearance from Doc to do with that side of things. I would definitely be interested to see how that goes. But that's pretty much all we have for Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft not really got too much else after that.
You don't
I
want to
agree
talk about
with you,
Halo
Sam,
Infinite?
and you, Gabe, about the whole GameStop thing.
Oh, I'm down for Halo Infinite, and we can definitely touch on the GameStop thing real quick.
I mean, I don't really care much about Halo, but I'm curious what it's going to be.
Yes, it's supposed to be open world as well.
Yeah, and I think
World Halo game.
Are we with is that once again too little, too late to say oh, Halo is open world now?
To be honest with you, I think Halo
do
died
we
out of
want
Halo
that?
4. I think Halo 4 was the last good game. Halo 5 just became an almost Call of Duty style run and gun. It didn't feel like it was a Halo game anymore from what I played. So this one's gonna have to be very, very, very impressive to be interesting. For it to actually mean something to the Halo community, they're gonna have to go, right, look, the last game, meh, didn't happen, Fever Dream, whatever, not important. This one, we're gonna do something decent. Maybe it's gonna be a reboot of the franchise. Maybe they're gonna, change things up a little bit. I'd like to see something good from Halo, but I think it is kind of a too little too late in that respect. They are really, really pushing the boundaries of trying to make it good now.
Yeah.
There's only so far you can go with a game franchise, and I think Halo hit that franchise limit not too long ago. Halo 5 felt good, but Halo 4 felt good. Halo 5 just felt like it was a cash grab.
So I think we'll see, because they're supposed to have a lot of first-party games there, and I'm kind of looking at a small list here. And so I think we're going to see whatever Obsidian's been working on. We'll probably, I don't know if they'll showcase something like the Outer Worlds. Maybe they'll showcase that, and maybe something small they're working on.
Yeah.
We'll probably see Forza, because we always see Forza.
Mm-hmm.
The guys who worked on State of Decay, they have them now, so maybe we'll see some State of Decay updates, or maybe a fresh take on what State of Decay is. We'll probably see either updates on We Happy Few, or maybe something new from them, because I don't think We Happy Few is in a state that's people are satisfied with, and I think it's still an ongoing thing.
That game was in preview for so long.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see. No, right? I think we'll see Gears, because there's that new Gears coming out.
Yeah.
Probably some Minecraft stuff.
So actually, before you move
Please,
from that,
no more Minecraft.
No, I want them to finally tell us what the hell is going on with that 4K update that they promised 3 E3s ago. Minecraft was meant to get a 4K update to make everything absolutely beautiful, ready for the Xbox One S. Still waiting.
But then at the same time, Minecraft was supposed to be available from the get-go for the Switch, and it's only as of late it's just happened.
It's the way it is. Fable, I do want to see what happens with that one though. Yeah, I want to see if that comes out at any point. Sorry, Sam, carry on. Didn't mean to cut you off on that one. I just had to get that in before it went too far.
And then I'd like to see if Ninja Theory is working on anything small and niche, like Hellblade, since Hellblade was such a hit. I'd like to see something new that's this is not necessarily it would be a game probably Myst would be into, where it's just oh, this isn't a fucking $60 AAA title. This is something smaller we're working on. This is tiny budget. Let's have it a smaller, intimate experience with this game.
You guys know really smaller games.
I would like to see a horror game like Hellblade.
Yeah, and then
I would
that
was a really good game. Honestly, from what I played of that, I didn't get to finish it, which I was really annoyed about, which I might go back to at some point, but that was a very good game.
Yeah, and then we'll have Rare there, so maybe something with Sea of Thieves, new Battletoads, maybe information.
Yeah, I'm expecting a Sea of Thieves update, because I think they said that they want to consistently support that thing to always give it more stuff. They want to make sure that Sea of Thieves does not die off, and that thing has been picking up a lot. I mean,
I know there's the beta program for the Sea of Thieves.
Wait, what? That's been a thing for a very long time.
Oh no, trust me, it's a lot more in depth now.
Yeah, I gotta look into that at some point.
People have been reporting that when it comes to the beta now for Sea of Thieves, you're not allowed to stream it. You've got two versions of the game. You're gonna have the beta version and the normal version. And
I think we lost Dan. It's been happening a lot today. Apologies for that. But no, like I think Rare's definitely going to be supporting Sea of Thieves, and we're definitely going to get support for a lot of the other games. I want to see if Outer World gets dropped during Microsoft, or whether that's just going to be like an indie one, maybe. But yeah, I don't know where to go from there. Is there anything else on your list of wonders there, Zam?
I don't think I think that's it for Microsoft. I just wanted to make sure we talked about some of the games a little bit instead of the just the consoles and stuff. I'm excited about. I like consoles are cool and all, but like let's focus on these games, especially since they're gonna be putting more stuff out on Steam and Microsoft.
Is there anything that you really want Microsoft to drop, like in their game section? What with all of the 14 new games that Pig said that they're meant to be dropping, a lot of the developers out there, is there anything in particular that you want more than anything?
I'd like to see the stuff that I'd be focused on is like not necessarily what's coming from Microsoft, but the studios that are under them now, like Obsidian, because I am excited for Outer Worlds. In Exile Entertainment, they're the guys who did Wasteland, which is like OG Fallout feel, like Fallout 1 and 2 feel. So I'd like to see if they're working on something new and exciting. I know they're bringing Wasteland 3, not necessarily as a Microsoft exclusive, because that'll be on PC as well, but they're going to bring that in. So I'm curious to see what all has changed between 1 and 2. I haven't played Wasteland 1 and 2, but I've been curious about them. So I'd see if maybe Wasteland 3 would be somewhere I would want to jump in with that series. And then, like I said, the Ninja Theory stuff, I want to see if they're working on anything else. That's kind of what I'm most excited about there.
That'd be good to see. Mist, what about you? Anything in particular that you want to see from the Microsoft stuff before we move on?
Not really.
I know you're more of a PlayStation guy when it comes to that sort of stuff. I think we have Dan back. There we go. We have Dan back. Right, so before we move over to Bethesda, Dan, anything exactly that you want to see from Microsoft?
I would like a full in-depth explanation and information on the new Microsoft Sony partnership and cross-platforming.
We was thinking more Games West, but no, that's definitely something I'm hoping they will touch on, because that will make it very interesting. Pig wants to see what's next from No Man's Sky, which would definitely be a good thing. That game, I don't know, is that another one that needs more to do, or is that pretty much set where it is? Or
No Man's Sky we could see a bit more for it, but it is a good game. It would just be a hell of a lot better with more upgraded.
I kind of see No Man's Sky as if you can't be bothered to play Elite Dangerous, play No Man's Sky. It's kind of how I've always seen it. It's like a kid's version of Elite Dangerous. Okay, we're gonna move on to Bethesda.
Right. So I've been reading about that.
Hang on a minute.
While having mic issues.
Let me do my intros to the sections, man. Jesus.
Shall we?
Jesus. Bethesda's going to be holding the traditional press conference, their usual thing. If anyone's interested in watching Bethesda, it's going to be at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, which is 1:30 a.m. if you are on GMT. The company's not expected to talk about other if I could English, that would be absolutely amazing. Not expected to talk about Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
No, I don't. No, I don't. But bear in mind that Bethesda,
but they do suspect an Elder Scrolls Online,
are going to be talking about things like Doom Eternal, Rage 2, and much more. While Rage 2 is on that subject, has anyone played Rage 2? And what did you think?
I have not.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant. A little bit short.
I haven't actually finished
a little bit. I've finished it. I've done the story. I'm just working through the collectibles now, and collectibles aren't even that hard to find.
Same.
So yeah, Rage 2 was a kind of fail.
Right. You think?
They could do a lot more to it.
I haven't played Rage 2 yet. I'm interested in it. I bought Rage 1 at like $20 or $30 and had a good time with it. So I'm kind of waiting for Rage 2 to hit that point. I don't think I'd have fun with it if I paid $60 for it. But it does look like an interesting game.
It is definitely. Something that they do that is what to be picked up on though is that Bethesda's thing does have a logo of a dragon and some mythical creatures in there. So yeah, they've said look, there's no Elder Scrolls 6, but there is the rumor and there is a thing that a new ESO could be coming on its way.
No.
Probably,
There is a new Elder Scrolls. It's actually been in the making for quite a while. There was some like lawsuit or something where Bethesda had to go to court because of the name. It was the name of like a book series or something.
it was a ripoff of a D&D campaign from Wizards of the Coast. It was they put out
It was like Red Dawn
put
or
out
something like that.
yeah they put out this was just within the last week or so. Elder Scrolls Online released a new expansion, and all of the
Redguard.
constantly ripped from a D&D campaign. Coast wasn't happy about that.
Makes sense. Sorry,
This is
there's
to
a
be
few.
assumed.
Sorry, you have to repeat
but
that one for like 2 seconds. I had a few.
If
technical
anything,
issues.
yeah, I would say with all that, I would say maybe an ESO expansion, new ESO expansion, new content update would probably be the biggest thing.
See, that's what I'm expecting. If anything, like the biggest thing they're gonna do is they're gonna try throw like a curveball at you, going, "Oh, that's not gonna be no Elder Scrolls 6. We're not gonna be doing another Elder Scrolls game just yet. You've got Fallout 76. You've got ESO. Blah 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 blah. Here's a new expansion that you're gonna have. Oh, but wait for it. Gonna end the thing and bam, trailer. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, maybe a little bit more, and then bam. There's your Fallout. Sorry, there's your new ESO. Or
and I don't know.
Elder Scrolls in general.
With them saying they're not going to talk about Elder Scrolls 6, if they're not going to talk about Starfield, and they're just going to talk about what Doom Eternal's coming, they're going to talk about DLC for Rage 2, and then what? Like, what else do they have? Like, they're going to talk about the only thing they could talk about is filling out 76 and new content for that and making it better.
That's something I'm wondering about. I do want them to do something new with 76. Like, I played that thing beta. I played it day one. I think I put like a month or two into it when it first came out. Me, Pig, and then eventually me, Dan, and Holly, and the rest of the crew. We was in and out on it. It's a decent enough game. It's a nice kind of like online co-op. It's not exactly what everyone was hoping, because, you know, they were just wanting Fallout 4 but with a multiplayer mod, which if you want that, just go online and go on Steam and you can download a multiplayer mod for Fallout 4 as it is. I was never a fan of the fact that they had the store where they put some more money in, you know, you got to put this and this into it, and you know, the skins and stuff are like overly priced for the microtransactions. Like, you're looking at paying like $8 for a power armor skin, or you know, you're putting more money into it than you need to just for a skin. You can earn the in-game currency for it, but you're grinding for hours upon hours upon hours. That's the only thing I'm worried about, is if they go, okay, look, we're gonna give you more DLC that's good, but not as good as the last lot. But the last DLC stuff wasn't really that great for 76, so, you know, it's a little touchy on that one. If they do another 24-hour stream to mention the new Doom thing, like they did with what's it called, like they did with Fallout 76, though, that would be badass.
I just want to touch on like how within one calendar year Bethesda has gone from one of my most anticipated press conferences to one of my least anticipated press conferences. I literally am not excited about anything that they could put out besides Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield.
So what made that happen
I
for you?
really,
You see,
Fallout 76, all the missteps with them as a company, fucking the Elder Scrolls Blades, the Elder Scrolls card game,
Oh
like
god.
literally every fucking thing they have put out from the last press conference that they had to now has been hot garbage. Just right out the gate, hot garbage.
I'm sorry, I have to stop you there and come in with a counter argument. Doom
didn't
You
come out in the
cannot-
last calendar year.
Yeah, that's a point.
Doom was
yeah,
out
the
well
next
before
calendar
that.
year. Yeah, no, but still, one of the best games that has been released recently was the Doom game.
Yeah,
But Sam
I
did
love
say
Doom.
that he
I
lost
love that
faith
Doom remake.
in the last calendar
Like-
year. That's where
Mm.
his point is. Like,
Yeah.
it was the last year that's killed it for him.
I was excited for last year because there was a Doom announcement and I liked Doom. And now it's like, okay, yeah, like I know that Doom game's coming. I'm waiting for it. Sure, give me some more information about it, but you're not going to be my most anticipated press conference because of Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You either have to, I'm going to watch it because I hope they have something up their sleeve, but I'm not at this current moment excited or anticipating.
Miss sitting there with his hand up, anticipating.
Go on,
Because
Mr.
I wanted to say fuck you, Zam. I didn't break my mic. I'm just dismantling it. There's a difference.
ID is with Bethesda though, are they not?
Yeah.
Pig's
yeah,
saying
yeah.
Doom is ID, not Bethesda, but ID is sister of Bethesda.
But he's saying that Bethesda didn't develop Doom.
Yeah, they just published it.
Basically,
They just
Bethesda
published it.
hasn't put out a decent game since Fallout 4. Like, they haven't developed a decent game since Fallout 4.
Yeah,
So
so it was good to begin with, but it did die. I'm not gonna lie, it did die because they're releasing too much content far in between, and even with the content they were releasing, it was small content. So
But yeah, so it was still before Fallout 4.
Clockwork, for instance, when that came out, me and my mate Sammy sat there and completed it within 2 hours. Base story we'd completed. We were just going through mopping up other challenges within the DLC itself.
Wait,
That's
sorry,
how
which game?
small it was. Elder Scroll Online, the Clockwork DLC.
See, that's the thing. I think that DLCs are along the same lines of the way things like, say, Cryptic put out things like for Star Trek Online or Neverwinter. They're not exactly there to be long stories. They're there just to keep you going for a little while longer.
Thank you for actually reminding me. I've got to reinstall Stove soon anyway because the new DLC is coming out for it.
Pixane moved
Going
over
back to what
Bethesda's
Zam
favorite
said about
CG
Fallout,
project.
you and
Yes.
Jay should be proud of me because I started my first ever Fallout 4 playthrough the other day.
One of million was streaming this,
I'm
but
proud of you that
congratulations.
you're on Xbox. You're actually touching an Xbox controller and it didn't burn you. I thought it was going to burn you.
I don't know how, man.
I thought it was going to be like a holy object touching a demonic creature when you started playing it. It would be like, no, it's burning. I can't do it.
It's PC and PlayStation's for you. They develop like a, it's just like a second skin. It's like they can touch anything, but secretly inside they're dying because they're holding a Microsoft controller and not a keyboard and mouse. I can imagine that sounds
Actually,
every time.
be honest with us, Miss. Did you slightly die when you started playing the Xbox?
Yeah.
Really, with New Vegas over Fallout 4, no, I agree on that one. New Vegas was good from the amount that I played.
Yeah. I'm liking the rumor. I know it's just a rumor, but I'm liking the rumor of New Vegas 2.
Well, aren't they already? You'd think, because they're developing a New Vegas mod for 4, you'd think that if there was a New Vegas 2 coming out, they would put a cease and desist on that.
See, this is the thing. Again, with the PC community, like we were saying earlier, sometimes it pays to be on Steam. and all that, because you will get the mods.
Not with
that will change the
Bethesda.
game
It doesn't. You have to be on the Bethesda store.
in I was saying
Yeah,
in that case,
you've
the
got to
Bethesda
be
store
registered
now
with Bethesda to publish it. Yeah.
What was the newest? Was it new? It wasn't New Vegas. It was new. It was one of the biggest mods that came out. It changed the game entirely, and it was a big hit. I cannot remember what it was. It wasn't New Vegas. I know that, but it was like a whole new thing. And the name of it escapes me, but it was for Fallout. I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. But there was trailers of it. It looked so cinematic. It looked so amazing. And I said to myself, if I had a PC that could run it, I would be playing that thing every day. But yeah, I think it's safe to say with Bethesda, it's pretty much just going to be the same thing as always, isn't it? It's going to be, we got a couple of independent things that we're putting our names to. We're going to do Doom. We're going to do this.
But you see,
and
I think what they were hoping with Fallout 76 was that it would take off like GTA 5 and Ark and basically introduce RP to it. And it never happened.
This came out before a big RP boom in, say, like the online gaming community, though. Like, there's a lot of people that have kind of given it a form of a roleplay, and I guess we could talk about GTA roleplay stuff in the post-show. But
No.
we all know how we feel about that anyway. But I just think they tried to give it the Fallout feel, but they just didn't try hard enough to give it the
What annoyed people
Fallout
the most was that the fact that there was no NPCs.
Yeah, but that made sense anyway. If you knew anything about Fallout lore, about that part of the time, was that you were the first people out of the vault. Like, you are the first people out of Vault 76. Yeah, I mean,
lazy writing, yeah, basically.
I completely and utterly agree. It was lazy writing in that respect, but it kind of gave you a whole new aspect. It's like, hey, look, you're the first ones out of the vault, so you're gonna be the first people out there. Didn't stop them from keeping raiders alive that you could have spoke to instead of just stumbling across their corpses in raider camps, or the one friendly super mutant that you find when you go down the road and trade with. I would have personally liked more people. I know they've put in like a legendary weapons merchant now where you go and scrap your stuff and all that sort of thing, but I want them to say, look, we're gonna start opening the vaults now. This game's been out 6-8 months, nearly a year. We're gonna start opening the vaults. We're gonna start putting in more dungeons. We're gonna start adding to the content.
Yeah.
And we're gonna start deving this game to the point where it was what we wanted it to be when we first showed it to you. Otherwise, where'd you go from there?
Well,
sorry, but I am going to have to leave here in a minute.
No worries.
So, one of these three will be bigger than the other two. Hopefully it's Zam.
we'll try to figure something out, don't worry.
Because after the hot sauce, what was it, Zam, yesterday?
Yeah.
60-something shots of it?
After the hot sauce, he deserves it. Sorry, Jay.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I don't want to have to put people through the torture of seeing my face and Dan's.
actually, I was gonna say we should start it up in here as well today.
I don't think Sam would be able to survive.
Find your debates, and Zam will take a glass of a spoonful of hot sauce.
Hello there, Elite.
Although,
are you going to take my spot?
I was gonna say, missed.
Wait, Elite's
Dips.
live?
Well, missed dips. We will be bringing in a new voice. In just a minute, we will be bringing in Gamer Elite because this dude has some good views and some good shit to go with. So, So yeah, do you wanna hit your thing before your grand exit? Is there anything else you want to put towards us for E3?
Yes. I said this earlier before we were even live, but then I looked at the link that Zam sent, and sadly, there's nothing about Elder Scrolls 6. Sadly, because I have been really looking forward to that because Skyrim being a really good game, I want something besides ESO because ESO, in my opinion, is just a piece of shit. I want a new Elder Scrolls game that will actually try to take the place of Skyrim. Like, take it down.
Nothing will ever replace Skyrim.
Well, I don't... Like, yes, I would love to have something for Elder Scrolls 6, but I wasn't anticipating it based on what Todd said last year during the conference, where he was just like, This is a sneak peek. Like, this is just letting you know that it exists. Like, this exists. Like, pay attention to us, but don't expect anything from this for like for
I'm sorry,
at least another 3 to 5 years.
Do you think
I'm
looking
sorry
back
to
at
say
it
this,
now?
but
Sorry. Do you think looking back at it now in hindsight, they put that little trailer in there for Elder Scrolls 6, knowing how bad 76 was gonna be? Just like, hey, but we're working on something good, we promise.
No,
I think it's
they
to
thought
keep
76 was going to
people's
be a hit.
I think it was just to keep
in
people's
the company.
interest.
I
Yeah,
can see that.
Yeah.
I can see
Keep
that.
people's interest in the company, because just in case the game was to flop like it did, they still have something else to wait for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it was more of just like, we know you guys know us as the Elder Scrolls company. We are still making Elder Scrolls, but this is all the other shit we're doing. Don't expect anything from Elder Scrolls other than Elder Scrolls Online for 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. I think that's pretty much where we hit with Bethesda, isn't it? We can
yeah, pretty much. And I'm reading just now that Elite is actually having audio issues.
I'm typing something to him right now.
It's okay. We don't always acknowledge the chat for those particular bits, remember? All right, so
yeah, I was away to say if we did, we would be acknowledging Pig constantly.
Next thing we move on to is Developer Digital. The indie publisher is back once again this year with a press conference.
Devolver?
Hey!
Devolver, sorry. My bad. Tired eyes. You can judge me as much as you like, I don't care. They're going to be back with a schedule for 7 p.m. Pacific if you guys are wanting to watch them, which is 3 a.m. BST. There's little indication to as what to expect, but the company has a history of unorthodox press conferences and a quality slate of games.
That
so
is the conference I am most excited for.
I know nothing of these guys, so this is where I let you guys
do yourself a favor. After this podcast is over, go watch every single Devolver Digital E3 press conference they have ever had, and you will have a damn good time.
How many have they had?
It is maybe 5-ish, maybe more. Whatever they started putting out, like the Hotline Miami and those games.
Oh, are they those guys? Right. Okay, I've played
They're
Hotline.
the guys that are super fucking wacky, like super mature. They always have super late press conferences, and they just attack the industry and how ridiculous E3 is. And it is it is so entertaining. You get this lineup of games that are just absolutely absurd and you want to play right now. And they're all like small little titles that are only, $10, $20, $30. They're very rarely huge $60 titles. And you're just able to everything in between the trailers is so well written, so funny, the timing, the people they hired to act this stuff out is just it's splendid.
Wait, so games like
awesome.
House Flipper?
Yeah, any of the stuff that Devolver Digital has put out. They usually focus on their more violent, more extreme, just sensory overload games at E3 because they only usually do it for a half hour, so it's just full throttle, nonstop from the beginning, going crazy. But
yeah. So would I be alright if I go out on a limb here? Sorry to interrupt, I apologize. Would I be right if I was to go out on a limb here and say this is the Zam is planning for his stream for the next 12 months from this one conference alone?
No, see, that's the thing is I don't typically stream a lot of Devolver Digital games, but I should stream more of them because I do absolutely love them as a developer and I love all their games. And I've played a bunch of them, but I usually just play them off stream just to really just enjoy them myself. Because
it's like there's no pressure on anyone else to watch it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. I'm gonna have to look into some of this stuff then, because I've seen some of the games that they've devved, and me and Elite have talked about things like House Flipper and that sort of thing. Especially if you're a creative, House Flipper could be a good thing. So
hell yeah, brother.
It's definitely into give it a watch. Mist, are you leaving us now, or are you got something you want to say?
I was gonna say goodbye, but every single time I had muted my mic to say something, you guys just continued to talking. So I was like,
sorry, it's what we do. Well, I'll let you say your goodbyes then, sir.
I was gonna say goodbye. If you don't already follow this man over here, or this man here, or sadly that one over there, go follow them. They're all cool people. And Elite as well. You point. Did you point up like he was a fucking god?
No, it's just like, okay, I
Okay.
get that. Don't worry about it.
He's going to Zam. God,
Right,
he
come on,
can't
come on.
right now because there's only 4 people in here.
It's a 4-person lobby.
Let's try to kick him out so that we can let's get Miss done so we can get Elite into the appearance as well. All right, let's do this. I was gonna say, if you guys are not following Mist on Twitch or any forms of social media, he is the real Mist now because he's so pretentious and he has to be the one and only real one. But you'll not regret it if you go and follow him at some point. He's good to go and take a watch at. So yeah, we appreciate you being around, dude. We'll have to catch you on
Anytime. Hopefully I can get my bot working so I can actually stream tonight.
Sweet. Hopefully we'll catch you on the other side for the second half.
If anybody can help me with fixing Streamlabs, Zam, maybe.
Yeah, we'll kick Sam
you
in
get
the
a chance
backside.
later.
And
Wait, is it Streamlabs chatbot? Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll sort
Why
that one
does a
afterwards.
broken bot stop you from streaming, Kappa?
So
Too bad, man.
Elite,
Hey,
before I
Elite.
leave, this is for you. Even though you can't see it, wait for the delay.
Okay, Mist, thank you very much for this, man. We will catch you hopefully on a follow-up. If not, we'll catch you on episode 10 with paranormal goodness.
See you guys.
You keep it safe, and we'll catch you soon. Oh god, we went full
Oh
screen
god,
Dan.
it's a bigger J.
Nope.
Oh god.
There we go, full screen Sam. Elite, if you want to come join us on the PRN, that would be amazing. If not, you guys enjoy the lovely face of Zam for the rest of the show. Why not?
Nah, man, they came here to see Zam.
You came here to see,
I'm sorry, but on my screen it was a bigger J, so I had to change the screen.
There you go.
Oh god,
Need a
I
bigger
saw the
me?
delay.
You need a bigger me?
Oh wait, for anyone who gets the reference, need a bigger me?
You need a bigger me?
Good enough. Okay, so that's day 1 of E3 done. That's everything we've got listed for E3 day 1. So this one I think is definitely, this one's gonna be for you for day 2. I think here. Is
Who, me?
PC
Yeah,
gaming
Monday
show.
is day 3.
Monday's day 3. Wait, so what are?
Monday's yeah, it's the starts on Saturday.
Did we do day 1 and day 2 straight away? Oh damn.
Yeah.
Because EA is
I-
the only one ever on day 1.
I
Yeah.
did not realize that we skipped that one. Okay, so day 3 then.
Yeah.
The PC gaming show. So it'll be the PC
The
focused.
fact Square Enix is still the Sunday as well. No, sorry. Ubisoft is still the Sunday. No, Monday, sorry. Yeah, never mind. Sorry.
F Ubisoft.
Seconds out. Take 2.
Yeah, I know, I'm getting confused, sorry.
Action. The PC gaming show will be the PC focused briefing taking place at 10 a.m. for anyone who's on PT, which is 6 p.m. BST. It's
America.
this year. The PC Gamer Run show has partnered with the Epic Games Show store and is bringing more news and announcements regarding computer games. Among those confirmed for the show are Evil Genius 2 and a major unannounced title from Rebellion. So
There's
anyone who
an
knows-
Epic Games show now?
Yep, Epic has their own
So
games store now.
what happened? So what happened was what was traditionally either sponsored by Intel or Nvidia or a
Mhm.
big PC gaming market.
Yeah.
Epic decided they're not just throwing their money around at different devs to get exclusivity. They're also throwing their money at E3 and the ESA to take the sponsorship for the
I'm
PC
telling you,
gaming
man. I'm
show.
telling you, Epic
So
are a bunch of gangsters, man. They're out here, man.
they are hot.
They're a bunch of gangsters.
Like Epic are the kind of people that will definitely.
But they're making everybody mad, and that caused Microsoft to throw shade at them and be like, "We believe PC gamers should have a choice on where they buy their games, so we're going to put our games not only on the Microsoft Store, but we're going to put them on Steam too." And they threw a little bit of shade at them, and they were like, "Fuck you, Epic. We don't need your stupid fucking money," which is a bold move considering Gears of War is one of their hot properties. So they have this bold move where they're just like, "Fuck you guys. We're going to put our games on Steam. We don't like what you're doing, poaching all of these devs from these different other marketplaces and putting them on your shitty ass store."
Which is understandable in a way.
But so now that they're sponsoring the big, they're sponsoring this big PC show, that people are afraid that it's not going to be as welcoming to games that may be not Epic exclusive. So what are we going to see out of the PC show? Probably not a whole hell of a lot. Usually it focuses on new hardware stuff for a little bit, and then they'll get into a little bit of gaming stuff. But with PC being as open as it is, most of the stuff that they show on all these other conferences apply to PC as well. There's
I figured it mostly be hardware. I figured that's what it was.
Very rarely is there a lot of like big software news. Where the Rebellion thing is kind of interesting. We'll see. It might be just like another Sniper Elite game, something along those lines. I'd be interested if they maybe got the rights to an older PC game and they're bringing it into the modern era. That happens relatively often, where they're like, remember this game from 1992? Well, we're bringing it back. So maybe that something like that will happen. It's something that we don't know about, but that's kind of why I am salty about the PC gaming conference, and I am also excited about it because they might have that game that I was talking about earlier, that game that I don't know that I want tomorrow.
That's the thing I'm hoping, like, with the PC stuff, like, I know it's going to be, as you said, it's mostly going to be hardware. It's like, hey, look, there's a whole new graphics card coming out. There's a whole new this coming out. There's more
graphics card I'll never be able to afford. Yay!
Exactly, it'll be like $200-$300
more stuff I'll never be able to buy.
Yeah, I mean we have Rebellion there, so they're like the Sniper Elite people. We have Paradox there. They're the guys who did like Stellaris, Pillars of Eternity, that kind of stuff. And then we have Tripwire there, and they're the guys who did, I believe, like Killing Floor and that stuff. So that might be interesting to see if there is anything new for Killing Floor, maybe a Killing Floor 3 or something like that. I know I'm not super into Killing Floor, but I know it has a fairly large audience. We have Frontier. They're the guys who do Elite Dangerous, Planet Coaster, all those games. So we might see something big from them in regards to Elite Dangerous. That might be exciting.
Have you ever played Elite Dangerous before?
Nah, it's not really my thing, to be honest.
Honestly, best way to kind of describe it, to anyone who's never played it, it's basically Euro Truck except in space.
Oh, Elite. We're talking ED?
Yeah, we're talking ED. Like, I think honestly you might be able to get in on that one. Like, you might be able to
I
get
follow Frontier on freaking Twitch, dude, and one day they went live and there were two people from there that work for them that were streaming freaking Planet Coaster. And I was like, dude, no one wants to watch this stupid game. I was like, if you're not going to stream Elite Dangerous, then get off.
Exactly.
Kick him.
Planet Coaster's the shit.
Kick him right now.
Get out.
What are you, an 11-year-old?
Says the guy who's not even appeared in the Appear In yet.
What's that going to do with anything?
He's got no right to ask for someone to be kicked if he's not going to come in here himself.
I have a sword, sir.
Say kick him.
I have a sword.
I mean, he does have the sword of power. But no, I would agree. Like, I would love to see something new from Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, I want to see that. What was that thing called we were gonna get when we were playing?
That the
giant.
Fleets. Yeah, when the freighters and the fleets came in, I think that is officially now in on Elite Dangerous. So I think they're probably going to be doing a lot more of the more Thargoid based stuff. Maybe they'll bring in something new. Maybe bring in a new enemy to deal with. Maybe a reason to breach the outer limits of the solar system, possibly. You never know. There could be something completely different with Elite Dangerous, which is, I think that's one of those games that's going to constantly keep evolving. Like, I don't think there's really too many ways that you're going to be able to stop that game from moving on. That's got a big old fan base. I think limited run games is probably going to be the next one that we can look at. I don't know much about these guys, but from what I'm reading here, they're a company that released physical versions of digital-only Switch, PS4, PS Vita titles. It's holding their own conference on June 10th, 12 p.m. if you are on Pacific, 8 p.m. GMT if that's your sort of thing. No exact announcements have been revealed from them, but limited run plans on showcasing several upcoming releases, as well as the entire schedule for the remaining Vita titles. What do we think?
I mean, I buy everything digital. I think limited run is cool, but I don't see a reason to purchase that. It's cool for collectors. My buddy Somber is a big collector. So I always see his purchases when he buys stuff from limited run. They're really cool. They're really well done. If that's what you're into, great.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing exciting for me personally.
Makes sense. Dan, what do you think? He's got mic issues again. I see. Might have to kick that dude down there. I was surprised that way it was so quiet.
This thing is weird, dude. Discord is so weird.
Discord is. Hey, maybe one year at E3 we can have a new version of Discord. We went from.
Oh, here
there
we
you
go.
go. You're back. We had TeamSpeak. Now we got Discord. Do you think we might have something new one day? You never know.
I had a /mute thing next to my name. That was weird.
That's
Yeah, same.
yeah,
It
it's
wouldn't
like
let me talk. It literally wouldn't let me do nothing.
like someone's server muted you. That's odd.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a few things left on day 3. We got Ubisoft have got their one. So this could be a big talking point. So a lot of people can't stand these guys.
F Ubisoft. F them just as much as we F EA.
So, yeah, I was waiting to say the only rumor that's coming out for Ubisoft is 1, their pass, and 2, a new Assassin's Creed.
Another Assassin's
Well,
Creed, yeah,
the Assassin's
probably.
Creed company will be holding a briefing. If you're interested in their briefing, it'll be 1 p.m. Pacific. Little's known about what Ubi's going to be talking about, but one rumor is Watch Dogs 3, which could interest you really because we know that you went through the Watch Dogs
Oh
1 and 2.
god. I liked Watch Dogs 1, man.
There's also recently been talk of a new Splinter Cell game, which, oh my god, if that is how they end it, or they start their conference, I think the whole conference will just explode with it. Like, so many people have been waiting for a new Splinter Cell for quite a while. Nothing's been confirmed about that just yet, though. We're sure to hear more about...
No, sorry.
Sorry, we'll get to what Pig's saying in a minute. We're sure to
I
hear
don't know
more
who that
about
guy is.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Wildlands sequel that released this year. So there's ideas about that, and Ubisoft's rollerblading game has leaked, and if it's real, will presumably show up during the press conference too. So a rollerblading game, and
It's actually
basically
supposed to be
add-ons.
a roller
Jet
derby
Set
game.
Radio Fusion.
Do you know? Are you familiar with roller derby?
Yes.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
Oh
It's a
my
roller
god,
derby
you're
game.
gonna make a video game of that? Jesus, dude.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like
You...
Fortnite.
plan.
According to this article, Fortnite style character designs and at least 2 tracks have been leaked. So
Don't ever
far.
tell me the gaming industry is not dead. We're making games of roller derby now, people.
Roller derby's fucking awesome. Get the hell out of here. You suck.
No. We don't want a roller derby video
Have you
game.
ever been to a roller derby bout?
That's not
That's
the
just
point.
violent, isn't it? Like, that shit's pretty
It's
violent.
fucking brutal.
Yeah, it's violent as hell.
I could care less. We already
You
have
just
NHL.
don't like
That's
fun
good
shit.
enough.
I'm just convinced you don't like gaming.
It's feeling
I
like
just think the
it.
gaming industry is in a toilet, man. It's in a
It's like-
toilet.
With Elite, if it's not
It's
owned
very
up, it
much
ain't
not.
worth nothing. Like,
If it's not
that's the
Overwatch, it's not nothing.
shit.
Okay, your opinions are valid now.
Kick Zan.
So there is
Can we
talks
move
that
on
there's
to
going
my
to be.
one next?
So there's talks about the Ubisoft Games Pass, which is what I think you're going to be getting onto.
Oh no, I was on about when we get to Square Enix.
Oh yeah, we're moving. We're getting there. Don't worry, we're getting there.
Ubisoft Pass?
Yeah, Games Pass is the Ubisoft Game Pass is just going to be like the EA access, basically.
Pretty much. I think when they found the
Don't
success of when they. Go on.
Don't they already have that?
No, they don't.
Don't they have
No.
Origin access?
Origins
That's
are a different company,
EA.
isn't it?
Or Origin's
Yeah.
EA, isn't it? I
Yeah.
would get those confused.
So I know that I think this is probably coming off the back of when they were talking about the ability to. If you remember when the last Creed game came out, and you had the ability to just stream that through the web browser. I think that's pretty much along the lines of where they probably got the idea for it from, and they're like, okay, well, let's do our own game store. If we can stream it through web browsers and like that, then maybe we could do it so that you don't have to have a decent enough PC to run it. We're just streaming through that if you've got the pass and go from there maybe. But it'd be an interesting one, but I don't think it's like super high on people's lists, right?
Not really, no.
Yeah, Ubisoft because kind of just does more of the same every year. We'll
basically
maybe
just
see the Viking Assassin's Creed, maybe a new Splinter Cell, maybe, and definitely probably stuff about Breakpoint.
A new Good versus Evil.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like Beyond Good and Evil 2 is skipping. Like that, they're definitely not going to be here. That's confirmed. There's maybe going to be something like along the lines of Trials Fusion, but that sounds like what this roller derby game is going to be.
Yep.
I was thinking maybe a surprise announcement of a Mario plus Rabbids sequel, being that did really well.
Yeah.
I think that would be a thing that they might do. Would be just like, hey, remember that great game we put out a few years ago? We're gonna do a sequel to that. So, which is right up fucking Ubisoft's alley, right? So,
I mean, it's pretty much all Ubi does, isn't it? It's like basically just republish the same game with a different name and a slightly different skin.
Yeah, I mean, it gets updated. Like, I love Assassin's Creed. I love that series. I'm not caught up on it in the slightest, and I do like Ubisoft as a studio and a publisher. I like what they do, but at the same time, they do just do the same. Like, they do the same thing every year. They do it well. They don't do it poorly, but
yeah, I think it's one of those.
the same thing.
It's one of those things with a lot of those big companies. Like they have so much talent. It's just the guys that are upstairs in their suits that make decisions. Like they have so much talent. It's just the talent goes to waste.
So you let
by
them
people
have
that are
reign.
telling them what to. Yeah, like they have a lot of talent over there. They just don't get. Yeah, they just don't get let loose in the reins. To do what they got to do. They just get told what to do, and here's your deadline, and it's kind of screwed.
How many Far Cry games did we have that were literally the exact same map, but they just reskinned it to be like a different time? It was like, what, Far Cry Primal, Far Cry 3, and Far Cry 4 were all on the same lines, right? Like,
everything after Far Cry 3 to me was just a blur.
I couldn't even get
everything after 3 to me was kind of a blur.
I played 3, and then I tried playing 4. Like, I skipped Primal.
I got through 4. I skipped Primal. 4 was okay, but it didn't compare to 3. It was nowhere near that. Like after 3, I was just like, yeah, I think I'm done playing Far Cry. I think I'm done.
But I think that's a big thing with Ubi, is that a lot of their games are basically the same thing. It's the same mechanics, the same thing.
And then they put out a remaster that charges $40 for a remaster of a 10-year-old game, and they do that every other year.
And not even that, but they end up like they're massive games, they're huge games, and then they always pile in more on the sequel, and it just ends up being like this daunting chore to get through everything in that game. So it's just like I'm not trying. Like I want to play Assassin's Creed Origins, I want to play Odyssey, but I don't want to put 100 hours into another Assassin's Creed game. Like I just don't.
If you want to see someone do the entire side quests to completion and everything like that, watch Shonuff. That guy will show you everything and everything you didn't even think that you knew about that game, and he'll go through everything. I don't have the dedication to do that in a Creed game anymore.
He does that in like any game.
Exactly.
Shout out to him. Be able to... I love watching. That's why I love watching his streams back when.
Exactly.
Like, yeah,
Shonuff is legit. Like that guy lives up to his name. He is the master. Of what he does. Like that guy will sit there, put in Assassin's Creed Origins, and not get off until he's done all of the side quests in that area to completion. Got everything you can collect, and then some, and then we'll move on to the next area. And that's the sort of like, you
probably goes back to his tester days, where he was like, his job was to get knee deep, Probably goes back to those tester days.
But that's the thing, you need the dedication for a lot of those new Creed games, like, and I can't really push that anymore.
Yeah, is Odyssey the Greek one? The Greece and Sparta, whatever it is, that one? It's either, I have one of those ones that I got from Humble Bundle. Which one was that one they gave us? Was it Origins or Odyssey? It was like a couple months ago, like 2 months ago.
They
gave us one. Odyssey, I don't know. They gave us one in, I think, like February. They gave us one.
They gave out Origins for
free. You died.
It's fine. We're still recording. We're all right. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was. We got that in Humble Bundle, and I was just like,
No,
I can go back and play the Ezio games, but these new ones are just looking kind of fishy to me.
Yeah, the new ones are just it's I don't know with the new ones. It doesn't make sense to me. Like there's just way too much in them that just stops me from doing it. But yeah, it looks like I'm having connecting issues. We may not be able to keep this one up on stream. We'll just have to finish this on record. Yeah, it was apparently my stream keys died midstream. It's alright. We'll get back on live later on. I don't know what's going on with OBS today. But yeah, I think that's pretty much as far as we can go as far as Ubi's done. I'm gonna fix this while we talk about Kind of Funny. So Kind of Funny, the media company Kind of Funny Games will be hosting an event of its own. Not unlike what it did in past December. It's set to take place at 4:30 Pacific. No specific announcements have been teased, although December's event did bring some news some news and extended looks at a variety of games. So anyone know anything about these guys or interested in anything from these guys?
Not really.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
They're the guys that did like Everybody's Golf.
Never played it.
They do kind of smaller niche stuff. I'm trying to find exactly what they've published. I forget off the top of my head.
All I care about at E3 this year is Obsidian. I just want to see what they have to say about the Outer Worlds. That's all I want to know the release date. That's all I need, and I'm good. I just want to know the release date.
So I think Kind of Funny. It's not really too much that we want to touch on too far, right? Unless we want to kind of come back to that one, circling around. Because I know Dan is itching to get to Square Enix. And oh god, I'm so looking forward to Square Enix myself.
Some of these games on the Epic Store look nice.
Oh yeah, like, that definitely
Satisfactory looks decent. Nice. Observer, I thought about getting that. That game looks cool. Observation or whatever.
Where are we? Okay,
what's that other one called? Control. That game looked pretty cool.
That definitely was like the Epic Store do definitely look like they're gonna have some decent
I like
stuff.
the way it looks. I can't even lie to you. I like the layout of it. Like I don't know. It's just I like simple. I'm a simple person, and it's just simple to me.
It's nice.
The way they made it.
It's nice and legit. I do like the way that sits.
Yeah, I really like the way it looks.
So here we go, Square Enix. Let's do it. Dan's been itching to do it for the past hour or so.
So,
have you not got the format yet? Come on.
Detroit Become Human is on PC.
Yeah, man, that's been on there for a while.
I thought that was only PS4. That was a PS4 exclusive.
So here we go. Sony, Square Enix, whatever you want to call them. For the second year in a row, the RPG giant is holding its own live E3 presentation. This year, the broadcast will take place on June 10th. It'll be 6 p.m. Eastern, which I don't know when that's going to be on GMT. That's going to be stupid o'clock in the morning, I believe. So that's going to be a fun one. I'm going to say about 1 p.m., like 1 a.m. The time slot that Sony's briefing traditionally occupies. So if you remember watching Sony, it'll be then. Square Enix teases that this year's presentation will showcase another exciting lineup of titles, although no specific games have been confirmed yet. And all I want to say right here before we go anywhere else, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Just give me that. I don't care about anything else. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
FIFA reveal.
Yeah?
FIFA reveal. Right, so just to correct you, Jay, I'm looking at it here. It's actually 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, 2 a.m. British Standard Time.
In that case, GameSpot, you guys got your name, you got your times wrong, so hopefully I'm right on the rest of the times for the rest of that. Otherwise,
it's GameStar that got here. So GameStar are going to be giving us a sneak peek at the Avengers project.
That one I am quite interested in. Although they're saying that's going to be basically Destiny. Like, that's just Destiny skin.
And what they're going to be doing as well is probably giving us a live gameplay reveal of Final Fantasy VII, with giving us more information about it, because as of right now, it is rumored that it's going to be episodic.
Which I guess kind of makes sense.
Final Fantasy VII? is
Yes.
confirmed to be episodic, not rumor.
Okay, so
Confirmed.
it's 100% confirmed now. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be
I
episodic,
think that was
but
from day
apparently
one.
every episode is
pretty
going to be the
sure.
size of a full-base game.
Yeah, I was gonna say they said that each episode, like, because of the scale, and this is what the day they dropped the hype about this, that it was officially happening, I was like, that's it. Just the fact that Final Fantasy VII was getting remade from when they said that it would be impossible for the game to ever have a modern day remake.
I've
The
never
second
played a Final Fantasy game.
you're missing out then, my dude. Because
Well, then you can just keep quiet over there. And
Someone kick that guy. Someone kick that guy.
that, or you can go back and watch Sam struggle through Final Fantasy VIII, because
I played one of them back in the day, but from what I remembered hearing, it was like a different. It wasn't like a legit Final Fantasy. It was
If
like
it-
something different.
If it had an X2 at the end of it, then it's just a.
It was like
the
dirt.
ending, so
It was like
it's
something dirges. It had a dude named Vincent with a golden glove, and it was real dark. And Shona called it out one time because he knew it, and I can't remember.
Vincent with a
Yeah, like the main character's guy was named
Oh,
like
that's,
Vincent, he had like dark hair and a
Crisis
golden
Core
glove.
or whatever.
that probably
was
would
called
be Crisis
Final
Core or
Fantasy something.
It was
Yeah,
either
it
Crisis
was-
Core or
yeah.
it was something.
I was too young to get through it. I was too young to play it. Like I just couldn't do the mechanics. But I remember it.
All I want to know is, and I'm a little let down from what I have watched though, because it looks like the battle system is going to be the Crisis Core battle system, which I'm not a fan of. I don't want to do the button mashy.
The battle system looks
thing.
like Final Fantasy 15 mixed with Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
I miss the turn-based strategy of it. Like, that's what I loved the most about Final Fantasy games, is like that's what got me into the turn-based strategy styles. And I was just like,
I don't need it.
I'd prefer it if you want to go for like an homage to the original game. If you're going full story and full style, but you know,
This is a remake, not a remaster.
yeah. See, that's the only reason why
Yeah.
I'm being able to justify it in my head is that it's not a remake.
You played Resident Evil 2. Why do you not want for Final Fantasy 7 what we got for Resident Evil 2?
Because I was always too scared to play Resident Evil 2 when I was a kid. Thank you so very much, Sam. So this is the first time I ever got
Don't
to play it.
expose him.
No,
Don't expose him.
I got scared watching.
saying that-
I got scared watching Final Fantasy 3, not Final Fantasy 3. Resident Evil 3 when my sister played that on the not Xbox. That's how bad my brain is with consoles these days. On the PlayStation 1, watching those zombies scared me when I was a kid. That was the first Resident Evil game that I actually was able to sit there and get through solo with no one
But
else there. Oh.
But what I'm just saying is, from concept, is just like the
guess-
idea that we got a remake of Resident Evil 2 that it has the soul of that game in it, but with a modern take. Why would we not want the soul of Resident Evil 7, what makes that game so memorable, so good, transferred over to a modern remake? I don't need.
I mean, first Resident Evil 7
I don't
was
need to play
terrible
through.
anyway.
Biohazard?
I could go download
Yeah.
an HD texture pack for Final Fantasy VII on my PC and play an HD remake of Final Fantasy VII in a heartbeat. But to get a full-blown remake with it plays like a modern game but has a familiar story, that's why I'm more excited for the Final Fantasy 15 combat, the mixed with that Kingdom Hearts combat, that active
Yeah, definitely.
combat.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely willing to give it another shot. Like, I want to see this different thing. Like, Crisis Core felt weird to me. I didn't like that style. Final Fantasy 15 was hit and miss with me for the battle style. I think maybe it's the
Final Fantasy 15 was a masterpiece. Get out of here.
hey,
Yeah.
it was good. It was a good game. I'm not saying that. It just felt strange to me to be able to hang off of a rock and then slam down on someone with a sword. when I'm
Strange
just-
or awesome? Are you getting your feelings confused?
what are feelings? Jay is robot, does not feel feelings. It was odd because like that was the first proper Final Fantasy that I'd picked up since Final Fantasy
Because he wasn't a hamster.
12. Was Final Fantasy 12 the last of the turn-based when it came to the battle
Yes.
modes?
No, 12 was like a mix between the act of, like, it was almost to where 13 and 15 were, but not quite. I'd say
That-
10 and 11, or 10 rather, not 11. 10 is probably the last one.
Yeah,
With
no,
like the
10.
active time battle.
Yeah, 12
Yeah,
was like
10
my
is-
most 12 was my most up-to-date Final Fantasy before I picked up 15, and then I was like, this doesn't feel the same. It feels like Boy Band Simulator. And it's just like, can I get behind this? And I guess it's just
That's why people nicknamed their stream when they were playing it boy band
I
simulator.
literally called mine Boy Band Simulator because that's
Well,
how
it
it
was
felt.
just it was the first time in a Final Fantasy where you're just like, these are your 4 characters, and these are the only 4 characters you're gonna play. There weren't 8 characters that you could swap out, and they each had their own little story. It was just like, we are telling Noctis's story. This is his story and his story with his friends. That's it, and that's gonna be our primary focus. And I'm sure they were going to explore, if they would have got to finish all the DLC, they would have explored fully all of those characters. But basically, it was just a more streamlined approach to a Final Fantasy. And I think if you've played a good portion of the Final Fantasies from Final Fantasy 1 to Final Fantasy 14, especially maybe not so much 11 and 14, but all those mainline Final Fantasies, if you played them and then you picked up 15, like I've played Final Fantasy 1, I've played 6, 7, a little bit of 8 now, but I played that after 15. I played
struggled
10
through 8. Did you ever finish 8 in the end? Did you
No,
ever
and
get
I'm
to
not
that game?
going to. No, it's not going to happen.
To
So
be
I
honest with
played
you,
these games, and then I
9
picked
is
up
definitely
Final
better
Fantasy
than
15, and they
And what'd you
all you kind of get this feeling like 15 feels like this is what Square has been building towards. This is what they've wanted to do for the last 3 decades. And
It's like if they had the
it's
technology back in the day, they would have done it straight away.
and they finally got it. So that's why I'm excited to see them go back to 7 with everything they've learned from the last 3 decades and be like, let's make this what is considered one of our best games. Let's make it even better.
I was gonna say, thing is, that game is going to have to be perfect for all those long-time lore fans to sit there and go, you know what?
There's a lot riding on it.
This game has more pressure on it than Resident Evil 2's remake did, or any big name that's been brought back from the dead. Like this is the one that has the most pressure on it, I think. Through all of the announcements at E3, if this gets announced, if Final Fantasy VII goes, right, here's the release date, yada yada yada, first episode's coming out in like 6 weeks, 6 months, there's going to be so much pressure on it. You can guarantee there's not going to be any way that they're going to be able to escape that. Sorry.
Well, and we've only seen gameplay from what is really only the first 30 minutes of the game. Like, we haven't seen anything outside of that first Mako reactor.
Yeah. No, agreed.
So do they have, like, we've seen street scenes and stuff, but how much is episode 1 going to be? Is it just going to be like taking that first 30 minutes of blowing up that Mako reactor and blowing it out to a 5 to 8 hour experience for the first episode? Or are they only still showing us the first 30 minutes to an hour of episode 1, and then there's going to be, it'll take us through, like, going back to Barrett's house and their hideout and everything and learning all that? And how far does episode 1 go? That's my question.
It begs the question, how much are they going to cut out? How much freedom are you going to have with it? Like, is there going to still have the free roam and Billy, or is there going to be the follow the line sort of thing? Right, Dan, I know you wanted to say something for the past 5 minutes. Go on.
I know there is one issue with it. They've been getting a lot of grief for the cross-dressing scene.
Yeah, but that's
that's the other thing is, how do you do, like, there's stuff in Final Fantasy VII, and there's stuff in a lot of older games. The same thing happens in comics too, when they try and re-release comics from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, because they're racist shit in that. And we handle things differently now on a social level than we did even 20 years ago. So how do we handle that cross-dressing scene? How do we handle that whole, like, Cloud dressing up as a woman and going to date a man and everything that they talk about during that scene? There's a way to do it, and I'm sure it's still in there, and I'm sure it's fine. But that's one of those scenes that they have to look at through a microscope and be like, are we doing this? Are we doing the game justice and the story justice, and are we doing it in a sensitive way that's not going to piss anybody off? I mean, I'm sure they're going to piss people off no matter what with it because of what it is.
You're always going to have
are we going to piss off
complex.
the least amount of people?
It's like you have to have that section in there because that was an important section of the game. If they tweak it slightly so that they do it in a more family friendly way these days, I guess that would kind of make more sense. But you can't take that section out just for the fact that he wears a dress and he dates a guy. Like, you're always
Right.
going to offend someone, and then that someone who gets offended is going to get shouted at by someone else who says it's not offensive, and everyone likes to get offended these days. Like, it's the
What?
internet.
Are we
It's the-
talking
it's
about
the social-
offending people?
Yeah, something you can do really well. It's the social media age, so like, oh, Cloud's wearing a dress, bah, 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 I don't like it, bah, 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 all over the internet, Twitter. 2 seconds later, bam, there's gonna be people complaining, and that's kind of where we are today. Like, that's what happens.
See, that's the thing. Look at the whole Doom Eternal release conference. Bethesda got a shit ton of abuse because they called them demons, and they're just like, no, the PC term is demonic creatures. They're not
Exactly.
demons; they're demonic creatures. Bethesda got a shit ton of heat for that one.
You can only
I
offend
did
some
not
people
hear
some of
that.
the time. You offend people
That's
half
wild.
the time, and you can't please everyone ever. Like, that you're never going to be able to make some kind of release and go, right, I think it's safe to say, Bob, that is absolutely everybody in the world pleased with our decision. There's not going to be any backlash. We're not going to have any problems. Nothing's gone wrong. I'm just looking at the chat every now and then. So as Gabriel said, it's 2019. Let's let Cloud look fabulous. No kink shaming, you know. I agree. Cloud should be non-gender binary trans if he wanted. Like, he can dress how he wants to. It's a game. This is the biggest thing. It's a game. And I know the new Call of Duty trailers come under fire because of Pig will tell us about this one in a minute we can bring up, but I know Call of Duty's come under fire as well with the latest trailer. I think it's something to do with
You don't want to get me started on snowflakes, man. You just don't want to get me.
it's the internet age, man. It's what it is. There you go. A woman goes to shoot you with a gun. So the kickoff to that, you can shoot back. So basically, you can shoot a woman in a new Call of Duty game, and obviously straight away that's got somebody going, triggered. Need to talk about this. Need to complain about it.
Yeah, and then if women weren't in the game, if they weren't on the battlefield to begin with, they'd be like, "Well, why aren't women on the battlefield? Are we not good enough?" It's just
it goes
Yeah.
back to the
You
you
don't
can
wanna
please
get me
some people
started
some
on
of the
that.
time, but you can't please
I'll
everyone. all
piss
the time.
somebody off and get banned. I'll piss somebody off.
So is there anything else that we want to touch on with Square Enix at E3?
No, that's about it.
I'm good on that.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I see other than the Avengers game is maybe something from Platinum, which
Are they
is actually like
touching-
Bayonetta, Transformers, all that stuff. So he might. Platinum always puts out decent games, usually these days. So we might see something from them, and then maybe a port for Dragon Quest XI to the Switch.
Yeah, I'm imagining a lot of Switch ports coming out of E3 in general this time around.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, considering how big the Switch has got these days, it would not shock me. Speaking of the Switch, it pushes us on to the last actual show
Yep.
from devs this time, like for E3. So Tuesday, it'll be, if these times are right, it'll be 9 a.m. Pacific. Nintendo take back E3. As the company typically does, Nintendo are airing a pre-recorded Nintendo Direct presentation on Tuesday. Broadcast begins at 9 a.m. It will offer viewers a look into Nintendo's Switch games coming 2019. Afterward, the company will wear its annual Treehouse live stream, which will continue throughout the rest of E3 week. So, we've pretty much touched entirely on Nintendo while we've been here, but is there anything else Nintendo related that you want to kind of push out there before we move to the end?
Not really.
I mean, with Nintendo, we got potential. Well, I think they're going to focus on Super Mario Maker 2, probably a lot. Probably new characters for Smash. And this is the caveat that I don't own a Switch. I don't really follow Nintendo too much, and they don't really appeal to me on the level that they once did.
Right.
So I only know about this kind of stuff because I follow gaming super closely. But we'll probably see Pokemon Sword and Shield stuff.
Yep.
More information on that. I know a lot of people are looking forward to an Animal Crossing announcement. I'm not sure if that'll happen. It traditionally has not, even though people have every year have been, oh, Animal Crossing announcement this year. So I'm curious about that. The only thing I might be excited about is the Fire Emblem game, the Three Houses, that is rumored to be coming out. So I like tactics, I like Fire Emblem, so that might actually get me to pull the trigger on a Switch eventually.
Hopefully expect to see that on Sam's stream sometime later this year, possibly.
I'm curious if they'll announce anything for, now that they canceled the new Metroid game, I'm wondering if they have any other Metroid plans.
That would be interesting. Well, like Metroid's been something that I've always looked at but never actually played. Like it's never been high on my list. I've watched people play it. I just can never really get behind it. Like
I can't think of anything other than that stuff that Nintendo could possibly come out with. I think Nintendo will probably surprise us. They typically do. They're pretty good about that. So we'll see. They're usually pretty middle of the road. But
so
yeah,
would it be safe to say that Nintendo is basically this is quoting from someone who I talk to semi regularly. Nintendo is the child's company. We're here to give you kiddie games, nothing more, nothing less. We'll give you the odd serious one, but everything's just there to, if you're a child, play. They're not the serious players.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like that label. I don't like that label for them. Yeah, they do have the kid-friendly games, but I think people confuse them with being their kid-friendly status with just being accessible. Like there's a different, like, they don't make games for children, they make games that are accessible, and I think that's an important distinction to make. Because yes, kids can play them. Right, yeah, it's either casual, however you want to phrase it. I think accessible is the best way to phrase it, because it's not even, they're not even casual. Like some of those later Mario levels, or even Mario Maker levels for that matter, are not casual levels, but they're accessible to the point where almost anybody can get in there and complete a lot of them. So I think that they're not necessarily the child's company. I think they have a focus on that, and they know that's a portion of their audience and they cater to them. But I also think, like, Breath of the Wild, I don't think is a children's game. Like, I don't think Metroid is really a children's game. They deal with some topics and things that aren't necessarily children friendly. I think maybe they don't deal with them as explicitly as something as God of War or Gears of War or Half-Life or something like that would deal with them. They deal with them in an accessible way. So no, I don't think they're the children's company, is basically what I'm saying.
No, I would agree with you. I think they are very much like an entry if you want to sort of like play your games but not have to worry, the million-hour grinds. But they do have the games that will give you the challenge. Like they are
but
very
they're putting
good.
Those games on there.
Yeah, they're starting to give you the more million-hour grind kind of games that will kind of push that point.
Because they're putting Diablo 3 on there, they're putting Skyrim on there, they're putting those big games on the Switch now. So
I honestly thought that it was a joke when they said that they were putting Skyrim onto the Alexa.
Skyrim will be on fridges in 2020.
Yeah.
Amazon Alexa has Skyrim.
Oh yeah.
And I know someone who has played it, and they said it's actually not that bad.
No, it's
I sat there one day for like 30 minutes and just went through it. I mean, very repetitive, but that's what I expected out of it.
Yeah.
So I guess this is where we move on to the any other business, any other E3. This is
I was surprised they didn't make me pay $30 for it though.
Right. People of chat, this is where we turn to you as well. So if you have anything you're looking forward to from E3, from any publisher, from any conference, just anything in general, this is where we turn to you. Let us know. You guys have freedom of speech.
I have a few things.
Go for it.
So how about Capcom puts out an announcement for the Resident Evil 3 remake?
Yes.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
Or I could take all of these or one of them. So Resident Evil 3 remake, or Resident Evil 8, or Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis I would love.
I would like to see from Bethesda some information on a new Evil Within, either DLC or a sequel or whatever. I want more of that story.
That could work.
So those are the ones that I kind of like that haven't been talked about that I want. But I have some other stuff too as well. Like a couple rumors, and we could talk about all of these or none of these. But there's the rumor that Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be announced. And then the other one is the From Software collaboration with George R.R. Martin.
Yes. The Game of
Call
Thrones
of Duty
game.
Modern Warfare. And then there is a rumor for Microsoft to bring back the Fable series and a new model for the Switch. Those are the things that I saw that are like rumored, that are kind of like floating out there, that I'm kind of excited about.
I'm loving the idea of a Dino Crisis game because that game is so underrated that so many people are sitting there going, what's Dino Crisis? And then when you explain it to them, it's like, imagine you're on the front lines of Jurassic Park. That's the easiest way to describe
Resident
it.
Evil with dinosaurs. That's
Exactly.
the easiest way.
Like,
this is Resident Evil with dinosaurs. Instead of zombies, we have raptors.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like, to be honest with you, I would happily have a Res 3 remake over a Res 8. Because Res 7 was good, but you know, I couldn't really get behind that. At the same time, I would love to see. You know, we've talking like Baldur's Gate. Apparently, there is rumors that Baldur's Gate is gonna, like the older stuff is either going to be getting a full remaster, or it's going to be getting console releases soon. They're going to start staggering things like Dark Alliance and that lot onto the console, which is going to be like onto the Xbox and the PlayStation, which is going to be absolutely amazing.
That's fine. That would be perfect. I mean, with the Baldur's Gate 3 rumors, that would be a perfect way to hype it up.
Exactly. Imagine the lead in this. It's sort of like what they've been doing with Microsoft with Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 went onto the Xbox Marketplace, and think of that as a lead up to the Final Fantasy 7 remake. I'm quite happy to see, like, just start bringing back some of the old PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 games, the original Xbox games. Give us some old school remasters. Give us, you know, give us some of the good stuff that we used to sit and love, and bring them back and kind of bring them to the kids today, instead of sitting in front of Fortnite or something like that going, oh, this is the best game ever, you know, I'm just going to play Fortnite for the rest of my life because this is how games are.
You better not talk shit about Fortnite.
Because Fortnite is forever and all that crap. No, give me good old-fashioned games. I want stuff that I used to play as a kid, but for this generation, maybe. Like, I know you could do that with emulators. I know you could do that with ROMs. You could do that anywhere on the internet. But bring it to consoles. Bring me some of the older stuff to consoles. Dan, what about you? You've been super quiet down there beneath me.
No. Really, everything I was expecting or hoping for is pretty much coming through.
Is there anything that you would dream of that they've not mentioned to anyone anywhere? Like
The original Digimon game getting re-released.
Can you imagine just random drop out of nowhere? You know, Nintendo
Can I
goes,
ban the guy that called somebody else game really? I'm gonna ban him. I need him banned, please. Exile him from the Discord. Put him on a raft somewhere and just push it away.
You know what I would like to see?
You're just mad because it's true.
It's true.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what, Zam. You better watch your goddamn mouth.
The one thing I would like to see, and this has been a big thing for me on my gaming life, is something new from Ark. Because Ark's dead right now. Like,
Good
Ark
luck,
is completely
man. Good
in
luck.
Yeah.
I
Give it another
see,
year and a half. They might.
You want
They
something
might
new
have
from
another.
Mark? Go play Atlas.
That was another thing I was gonna say actually. Like, I wanna even see them finally.
Atlas on console.
I want to see them finally drop the announcement that we're going to be getting Atlas on console pretty soon, or that they're going to start releasing new maps for Ark. Like, give me what's it called? Give me, I'm trying to remember the name.
Another $15
Valhalla.
shitty designed map.
Give me Valhalla and give me Crystal Isle, because those are two really good fan-made maps. If they're anything like Ragnarok, they will be amazing. They'll be a bit glitchy and buggy, but then it'll be fine after a while. Start giving me a couple of new IPs. I would love to have something legit that is just you've never seen before, plays in a way that you've never seen any game ever play. That's what I want. I want someone to come out and go, right, you'll play this game and you will see it's something totally different. It's not a run and gun. It's
You
not
will
a
play
follow
this
the
game
line.
and you will love it again.
yeah, you'll love gaming again because it's like nothing you've ever played before. So maybe Outer Worlds will do that. Is it Outer Worlds the one that?
That's my hope is with the Outer Worlds that it can be another game, you know, that I can, you know, be hyped about and start it up on day one and be like, you know, 4 hours later, I'll look at the clock and go, oh my god, I need to take a break.
Exactly.
Kind of like I did with Fallout 4. You know, I haven't done that since Fallout 4.
Or there's one small shock that I know is never ever going to happen, but I really would love to see. And this is going back to the beginning with EA. Them announced Star Wars 1313. It's officially back and happening. But it's never going to happen. Sadly, like it's never ever going to happen.
No.
Fallen Order. Like that's your 1313.
It's a shame because 1313 looked like it was going to be so good, and Disney basically killed it.
She's not even with the studio anymore.
Is it that bad?
Well, because it was what's her face who did the original Assassin's Creed. She was working on 1313 for EA, and then she was just like, EA fucking sucks. Peace out.
No, I want to see something from Cyberpunk, like you guys are saying. Like I want to see something from that, like because they announced it last year. There's not been anything much since, right?
For what?
For Cyberpunk 2077, and like there was an announcement last E3, and there's been nothing since. Or not much.
Yeah,
since.
I mean that's how CD Projekt Red does their shit. They're just like,
I'm saying, I always thought, I thought Cyberpunk, like there's a lot of hype on Cyberpunk, and I was like, I don't get why. Like I haven't seen anything. I've seen the
Have
little.
you played the Witcher series?
Actually, no.
Then that's why you're not excited.
I've had The Witcher 3 installed for about 1.5 years, and I haven't wanted to start it yet because I don't want to start it until I'm ready to put the hours into it. I don't want to start it and then be like, I'll come back to it.
Bulls himself, Gamer Elite, hasn't even played it.
Okay,
after you play the Witcher series, you'll know why you should be excited for Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, okay. That can be fair enough.
The other reason people are excited about it is because it's based on a tabletop RPG that a ton of people are a fan of, and Cyberpunk is going to do like. They took The Witcher based on novels, and they made a fantastic game and world based on these novels. So and they did it justice. They were loyal to that lore. They were loyal to that world. So people are excited for them to have ownership of this property that they have been playing on pen and paper for decades now. And they seemingly are taking those systems from the tabletop and applying to the game legitimately and not cutting any corners with them. So you take everything they've done with Witcher 3 and how good that looks, how much of a world that feels like. You feel like you're going through a portal to another world when you play Witcher 3. Like that world is living. So to be able to take that, apply it to this tabletop RPG that already has a ton of lore and a ton of, backstory to it, bringing that to a digital platform in full 3D with all these systems in place and just letting you create your character and do what you want in this world and not even be tied to a character like Geralt. This is your character. Like every character is V in Cyberpunk 2077, but they're all your V. Like you get to do what you want to do with V, whether it's male, female, a hacker, a thief. That's the
kind of RPG I want.
Like that's why people are excited about it. You have that control over that character.
I need more. I need to see footage.
But it's not going to be playable. If you want to see footage, I mean, if you haven't watched it, they did a 40-minute demo last year, like a 45-minute demo of just like the first 45 minutes.
I only remember catching the trailer and I was just like, that's interesting.
Go watch that full gameplay demo from last year. I'm assuming they're going to do something similar this year, but there's no playable demo at E3 this year.
I was expecting there to be some kind of update.
So that game will probably be 2020 then.
Yeah, it's looking at 2020 or maybe 2021.
Yeah.
So I think, gents, that's us pretty much at the end of E3 it is. Like all the stuff to really do is give you guys the rundown of what's happening here. So on June 8th from 9:15 a.m. Pacific, your running order will go as follows. You'll have the EA live stream, EA Play, Nintendo Invitational Tournaments will be following that up. The Microsoft press conference will follow that. Bethesda, and then the Devolver press conference will end the day. June 10th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. you'll have the PC Gaming Show, Limited Run Games press conference, the Ubisoft conference, the Kind of Funny showcase, and Square Enix showcase. And then June 11th it'll be the Nintendo Direct showcase and the E3. The E3 show floor will open, so if you're at E3 and you're on the show floor, that's when you get to go do the good stuff, get to play your games and all that good, all that amazing stuff. I seriously want them to do E3 in the UK one year so I can go and do that, but I very much doubt it. I'll probably do Gamescom thing for me one time. So what do you think? Will E3 blow you away, or do you think it'll just be another standard, boring, redundant?
E3 has never blown me away. I've never been blown away by it. I just walk away going, okay. I was hyped for Fallout 4 when they announced it, so I walked away from that a little bit excited, but...
Yeah. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah.
Sam?
The Outer Worlds, man, that's all I care about. I want to... Give me a release date.
So you're going in for one game and one game only this time?
Yeah, pretty much. Because fuck Bethesda. I don't care about them anymore, dude. That's the only reason I used to go watch it back when, was I just wanted to see Xbox show, and I wanted to see Todd Howard. But these days, I'm like, fuck Todd Howard.
I think that's pretty much the internet's reaction these days. So Zam, what about you?
Him.
What do you think on an entire rundown from everything that you're looking for out of E3? Do you think it'll be a mediocre show, or what do you think? Where'd you stand?
I mean, I think I'm gonna be, say it's gonna be another E3. I don't think there's gonna be anything too crazy coming out of it.
I think that sounds about right.
Like I think we're on, unless the ESA, I think it's ESEA maybe. I forget. They're the company that runs. They're the company in America that handles the ESRB and they handle all of that. They're the ones that run E3. They're not a conference company. They're not someone who puts on big shows, and they won't allow anyone else to come in and put on this show for them. So it's disorganized. It doesn't, like, the developers don't get a lot out of it. It's public and press at the same time. Other conferences do them separate. They'll do press before or after or in a separate area so they can see all these games. Nowadays, they have to go in and sign up for all of these demos the same as public does, so they have to fight for it. And it's just a lot of it's just like a whole situation where they're making this conference that in this expo that isn't going to benefit these developers, and that's why we're seeing the likes of Sony pulling out and all these developers just pulling out, because they could go to Tokyo Game Show, they could go to Gamescom, get more out of it than going downtown LA in the middle of summer at this conference and fighting these people. So they're with digital, with streaming and all this, you're seeing like the Nintendo Treehouse, the Nintendo Directs, the Sony Directs, like all of this stuff is happening, and it's making things like E3, unless they're top tier like Tokyo Game Show, like Gamescom, it's making them less and less relevant. That's why our schedule is so light.
Definitely feels like E3 is becoming redundant at this point. I would have to
agree
on
much
that one. Dan, anything you want to add before we start closing down?
Not really. I pretty much said my piece. I can't really think of anything else to say.
Zam pretty much sums up
yeah, he does.
Sums up a lot of good stuff. And that's why I love having you on the show, Zam, because you are very knowledgeable about what we're talking about, and you are always there. You know your shit. That's the best part of it.
Try to.
That's why you get the big spot.
Sam don't know shit.
That's why you get that big spot.
Yeah, even though my name's covered up in the bottom corner.
Yeah, exactly. Plus you are a dark camera, no one's really going to be able to see you too much. Elite, what do you think? How would you sum up this? Like, are you looking forward to E3? Is it just going to be like a general thing other than Outer Worlds?
Outer Worlds and fuck Todd Howard.
Outer Worlds and fuck Todd
Mic
Howard.
drop.
Sums it up perfectly.
Mic drop.
So I guess that's about it. Like, that's what we've got for E3. We will be doing our Let's Watch E3 Microsoft conference at least. I don't know if anyone else wants to be jumping in on that one when we do it. Mitakas just wants great rune info. That's all he wants. I guessing that's probably going to be like another Soulsborne style game, maybe. don't know that one. We'll have to talk about that one in the pre-show, post-show even. But gentlemen, thank you for joining us on what has been the second longest. I think we've almost broke the time barrier for the mental health podcast on that one. So I think we've done more in this one. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun talking games with other nerds, other people who know
Glad I
what they're
made
talking
it.
about. Glad to have you
work
back.
at 5 a.m. today.
It's been good to have you back, dude. Like, we'll have to bring you back on the show at some point. If you guys want, if you guys want us to do another particular topic, like do another special, let us know. Episode 10 is going to be the paranormal podcast. We're going to be doing that for a whole special episode 10. So keep an eye out for that one. But all that's left to be said, as the music starts queuing, is thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for joining us, Sam, dude. Appreciate it as always. Nice to have you.
Yep, anytime. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter. I'm probably gonna
do it.
Live tweet. I'll probably live tweet any of the conferences I'm able to catch. Some of the ones during the week are going on while I'm at work, but the weekend stuff I'll definitely get to.
There you go. If you want to live tweets, go follow Sam on the thing. I will get everyone throw the stuff down in the description when we're done. Dan, thank you for joining us again. Been good to have you back.
It was good to be back.
Elite, my dude, thank you as always. Now Digloading can officially stop saying that you need to get back on again, but we will get you back we'll get you back for a full-on cast at some point. Want to say a massive thank you to Mist while he's been with us as well. Appreciate him sticking around, and to every single one of you who have joined us, thank you for getting in touch in the chat. Don't forget, go join everyone over on their socials. They will be down in the description of this video if you've made it this far on YouTube. Congratulations, give yourself a round of applause, pat on the back, and go take a cookie for goodness. But until next time, I've been Jay. This has been Off the Script. We'll catch you all later.
Gillette.